Okay. Okay. I need you to tell me right now. Are we good? Is the stream better? Okay. All right. All right. Okay, good. So it was just a latency issue. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. Oh my. All right, let me just make sure that. Okay, good. AirPods recognized. All right. I swear, if we get lag again, I'm gonna be all like. Ah! That was literally me. Literally me right about now. Okay. Okay. Now, like, I think we're just gonna take it from the top. Pretend that we didn't do anything. And, like, now I'll see if we can put on some music. I'll be keeping... Wait, hang on. Just go through, here it is. Okay. Okay. Alright. Now then. Okay, I think I should turn down my mic probably. Okay. Alright. We calm. We're calm now. We're back and we're calm. Music. We're chill. Okay. Alright. Anyways. I had the stream going on. Yes! Thank God. Alright. So, on May 19th, 2026, I asked for some unpopular death battle opinions with the trend of, like, I blame Gumball Viking for this mainly, because he was retweeting a lot of unpopular opinion stuff, giving a lot of them, and gave me the idea. Was anybody else doing this for death battle? And at the time, no, they weren't. So I was like, okay, let's get something going. Okay. Oh, I do a pretty bit. Gumball, aren't you supposed to be working? Wow. Aren't you supposed to be? You told me you were gonna be at work. What are you doing in my stream? Go back to work. Okay, on break. Alright, sure you are. Once your break's over, get back at the kitchen. Anyways, so I received 108 replies and 100 retweets. None of them being quote retweets. But plenty of them were. So, let's get going. And if anybody in the chat right now, if anybody in the chat has an unpopular opinion they would like to give, send a super chat and we'll discuss. And, like, depending on context, I might just, like, get a regular message and then, like, go off of that, depending on context, but, like, super chats will actually, like, draw my attention. Just want to get that out there. Alright. Also, something funny is happening, something funny will happen, depending on how much you end up super chatting. But yeah. Alright. Let's get going. Alright. Yes, we're all back. Okay. This may be a hot take, but I think Shadow vs. Ryuko is just an apology episode for Shadow. Not saying it's bad. No, you should definitely just say it's bad, bro. Come on. Don't be a coward. But it doesn't. It just feels like it's a boring respect thread because how he was treated for a while in the community. Meanwhile, Ryuko's analysis just felt thin to me. Yeah, I even said this in my review. Like, I mean, I thought that Shadow's analysis was like half good, half not amazing. Anyways, Gumball, sorry you've been like stressed at work. I hope things get better for you, mate. But anyways, like it was half good, half wasted potential. But Ryoko's was just not a good introduction to Kill la Kill whatsoever. Just not even a little bit. It's just so whack. Yeah. Like, I think this one goes a little further than where I normally see the take goes, so that's fine. I'd actually like to see more Dragon Ball episodes, but less of the Saiyans and more stuff like movie villains, classic Dragon Ball, and the Ginyu Force. Okay, that could be interesting. Like, Ginyu Force versus Psycho Rangers is a vibe. And then there's Kid Buu versus... I don't know who this is. It's like a Digimon of some kind. And then... like, I don't know who this is, but that's Alan the Alien. Tien on Death Metal? Maybe. I mean, we really got Metal Sonic doing the Neo Tri-Beam before Tien showed up. It's crazy. Essentially, just anything that isn't just Super or Xeno. Yeah, kind of. Like Death Metal used to be decent about that. Like we had Majin Buu, Hercule Satan, Android 18, and I think that's it. Okay. Alright. Now, next one. Bakugo vs. Reze is one of the most pointless episodes they've done, alongside Bane vs. Venom, mainly on two reasons. They already planned on doing Yuji vs. Denji, so having two Chainsaw Man episodes feels redundant. The matchup itself isn't even a fun debate, it's just for lulz. Andrew, I got a question. You a tourist? Are you a tourist? Tourist? You a tourist? I see you. You are a tourist? Are you a tourist? You a tourist? Tourist? Yeah, like, coldest fucking take of the night so far. Like, dude, come on. Alright. Okay, friend of the channel, Resident Deadpool, D. Tyler Faltz has a take. People who talk up Goomba vs. Koopa Troopa, I feel, are coping or giving it too much credit. The DBX was better. Wait, what do you mean new thing is better than old thing? No way! Like, anyways. Coping. Wow, Tyler, that's rude. That is rude, my guy. Yeah, that is... Come on, man. Like, what do you mean giving it too much credit? Also, like, it was actually the first death battle to reach 1 million views. Fun fact. Like, and it was my first death battle episode, so... Not too crazy. Yeah. Hi, Brendan. The people complaining about the early episode sex jokes shouldn't be taken seriously if they're going to make similar jokes about men. I kind of want to elaborate. I kind of want to go off of this, but I don't know what's the safest way to do so. So, like... Gallic Guns, Yusuke should have fought anyone besides Ichigo. This guy is my fucking hero. This guy is my fucking hero. Ichigo versus Yusuke slander, I will be there no matter what. What's up, Hanamis? Okay, this one I did reply to and said, Yang and Ruby should have fucking lost, but Ruby did lose her death battle. Did nobody tell him that Ruby lost to Maka? Yeah, but this guy they apologize for being a bit of a tourist. Like, yeah, and I sent him the gif. You a tourist? Are you a tourist? Like, this take is far too mild, lacking in the fiery youth of true unpopular opinions. Wait up, tell him, let's make sure we got the pronouns right. Hi, upcoming, I'm hi. She, her. Tell her. There we go. Yeah. Just want to make sure we're getting the pronouns correctly. We love trans people. Trans rights are human rights. Trans liberation now. We love the trans people here. Okay, man of action. I see this guy quite a bit. Ever since the beginning of the Kickstarter era, the writing has gotten worse. Ooh. I'm talking generally. There are episodes reaching and exceeding the peaks Season 10, but en masse they're written worse in all aspects. Analysis breakdowns and the fights themselves. Well, that is a pretty broad, like, that's a pretty, make the music louder. Okay. Ah! It's louder! It's louder! You want it louder, I made it louder. Nah, but for real, I'll turn up the background music. Okay. Like, I mean, I'm gonna keep my lips sealed about any and all takes of Death Battle 2025. But I just want to, but like, right off the bat, I just think this take is a little broad. Like, which episodes are you referring to, specifically? There's the easy punching bag, Kratos versus Asura, but there could also be, like, episodes that went for an experimental angles that may or may not have worked. It could also be, I don't know. Saying Death Battle hates a series because of it losing fights just shows you're salty. We've been known, but I won't call you a tourist. I'm pretty sure most people know mine if you know me, but Mario vs. Sonic 2 is not a bad episode. It's like a low 7 out of 10, and a low 6 out of 10 at worst out of IMO. It's one of the more divisive episodes, so I'm not super surprised about that. Like, also, like, I'm friends with Dark Behemoth, who, like, has this exact take, so no stranger to this. Also, yeah, Capsirus, you're epic. Tyler might be a bit hot, but the people who complain about how shitty the fandom is are like 10 times more annoying than the actual toxic fans. It feels like we're in this era where we have to personally denounce the community when something happens that I see them more than the toxic fans. Honestly, that's actually surprisingly common in like a lot of larger fandoms. Like, and especially in Death Battle's case, because it crosses over with like so many fandoms in like for like one show. Like, we got Dragon Ball, Mario, Sonic, Guilty Gear, Jujutsu Kaisen, like many shonen anime in general, also Marvel and DC. Like, yeah, exactly. I was mainly thinking of Omnidog, Kratos Asura, Miles Deku, Gurumine, Simone Kyle, and Blade Buffy partly. Oh, Simone Kyle, that's a big one. That's a big one. Like, I think I know where you're coming from, but yeah. And Blade Buffy? Blade Buffy's also an interesting take. But yeah, anyways, back to this. Yeah, this is a phenomenon that I experience quite a bit in other fandoms. Like, I've especially seen it for the Sonic fans, where, like, you know the meme, nobody hates Sonic fans more than Sonic fans do? Like, I get that a lot. I've seen quite a bit of that stuff, so, yeah, I honestly get it. Anyways, like, let's see who we're playing for this. Vagos once again. Chat, press 1 if you like Vagos. If you think Vagos is an epic human being. Or press 2 if you think Vagos is a bitch. No. We all should be pressing 1. People are a bit too wishful in their thinking. Like, when I saw people were legit pissed that Cell fought Metal Sonic instead of some side characters Ben 10 fuck, it's nice to have some obscure favorites. Mine is Jake versus Guy Dangerous, but don't get sad if they choose the more popular option. Yeah, exactly. I agree. Not the hottest take, but not gonna call you a tourist. You're not a tourist for this. You're fine. You're valid. I think some people have to acknowledge how likely matchups are to happen with how not likely they are. Ooh. This is interesting. Every matchup has a probability of can happen. Yes, real! But just because it's popular doesn't mean it's a guarantee that it will happen sooner or later. I have been saying this. M2 is my GOAT. I have been saying this for months now. Remember when Deku versus Gon was considered the best for both? Guess who Deku didn't fight in either one of his episodes? Oh, you were joking earlier? I swear, if you pull that shit again, I'm banning you. No way. Alright, what's up, Art? But yeah, I've been saying this for a while. In fact, I actually have a couple takes that will expand on this in even hotter ways, but we'll get there, but that's for another day. Omni-Man versus Bardock was good. I'm a Viltrumite with smart atoms and sun disk. What's your special power? Honestly, I don't really have... I already talked about this. I already talked about Omni-Man versus Bardock. Like, as a fan of Invincible, it just didn't do enough for me. Like, I just don't think it's that great of an Omni-Man episode. And as for how it's a Bardock episode, I mean, mileage may vary, but I think it's... Bardock's analysis is great. Those representation in the fight, your mileage may vary. Okay. I don't know. I think Ben versus Hal is a debatable matchup. I myself have no idea who wins anymore. No idea! Really? And that's all I could think of. Goku vs. Superman 3 is my favorite episode of the show. I don't know, here's Shoma Yusa from Yu-Gi-Oh! OCG Structures. I don't know who that is, but he looks cool, so I'll give this guy a like. I'll give him a like. Guy looks cool. Since I'm a member now, can I get a bow egg? You already got Yusuke to shout you out, so... Yeah. I got the alert to pop up. Oh, here he is! Chat, it's Vagos! Chat! Our resident ranter, Vagos! We love our resident ranter. The concept of all endings is overrated. Part of the appeal of the show is that someone will go down, but if the research decides it's a tie, then it's a tie and it should be shown as such, and how they will go down. We don't need to be held by the hand. You know, Vagos? Considering the opinions you've posted in my comment section of older videos, this one is one of your colder takes. In case you do this in the forget, where should this be? No. You can actually like if you send me a super chat with an unpopular opinion, I can literally address it during this stream. But as for whether or not I do another one of these streams, we'll see. I actually have been coming up with some fun ideas for like actual streams. Is he talking about people always wanting respectful deaths? No, he just said all endings. Okay. Anyways, the team themselves should actually verbalize the advanced versus jargon / deeper research and stop relying on black boxes as much as they do to create less confusion, as ironic as that sounds. You mean say stuff like actually say stuff like outerversal by name? Is that what you mean? Cause like I think I can agree with what you're saying. Oh yeah, and stop relying on black boxes. Honestly, yeah, stuff like that, not creative. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Just start using terms like dimensional tiering and low complex multiversal. There is like a case to be made that the reason, like a big reason why Death Battle has stuck around for so long and remains as big as it is because of its approachability. Like everybody is has some kind of opinion on power scaling, and the ones who think positively of it are probably just thinking of broad or vague statements like who's stronger, who's faster, who is smarter or such. They don't really know tons of TNT or whatever. But I do think that, they don't really entirely know that. So I do think there's a case to be made to argue against this, but generally I do agree. I do agree that if a matchup requires them to use those terms, they should not be reluctant about it. I think Death Battle Tubers, he's not talking about me, chat, but I think Death Battle Tubers should acknowledge the debate aspect of the show more. I know debates can be a thing, but having it tiptoed around all the time can be frustrating, usually inferring a lack of interest or jab at that aspect of the hobby over and over. It not only limits what they make content-wise. If one more makes a matchup review show, I am... What do you have against matchup review shows? Whatever. But also means there aren't any versus voices that defend the show from an analytical standpoint, from i.e. crappy debunk videos. This criticism also applies to Death Battle itself, dumbing down the versus content and actively avoiding it in some cases, taking the verses out of this versus show, when they already don't give external sources to look at their research. At points I wonder if I would agree with some episodes if it didn't know verses. Well, chat, that was quite a bit. That was quite a bit, but I think it's really interesting. And honestly, this is an approach that I've started taking with, like, my latest ranking. Cause I will admit the whole outside factors rule I used to have, like, just very easily led to, like, double standards, because I don't want to go into outside factors for the versus stuff of the versus show, but I'm willing to do so for, like, pointing out when somebody is out of character, or if Death Battle gets a plot point wrong, or if they don't talk about this other thing, or if they leave this other thing. Like, okay, so why is it a bad thing to consider outside factors for versus? So, like, what I want to do is like try to, like, stick with that same idea, but also focus on, like, recontextualizing Death Battle's verdict. Sometimes I, like, whether it's, like, I shorthand it or, like, actively go out of my way to defend a verdict or something, or if I think that a conclusion was poorly made, I could say they could have brought this stuff up to, like, word their argument better, or they could have, like, what was I gonna say again? I don't know. What's up, comedian? Didn't they used to include the research on their Patreon? I think you mean membership. Like, they had like a rundown of a calc they made for Dio versus Alucard, but I forgot about that. Like, cause I think that there's, like, a line to be drawn, because with Alright, thanks for super chat. Pretty cold take, no offense. Really cold take. You were tourist, Actually, no, it's not tourist worthy. No, never mind. But it is a cold take. Alright, but anyways, like, I do think that there's a fine line between, like, verse debating is subjective, and, like, there are plenty of subjective aspects of verse debating, and, like, but also like bringing outside factors that somehow don't make it sound as subjective. I think that's why Death Battle tubers, I think that's why many Death Battle reviewers, like, tend to avoid that kind of stuff. But yeah, I do think that this Moxie guy has a point. That, like, it's not fair to talk all about, like, the storytelling or character representation, but then say the versus stuff doesn't matter to you. Like, I've started thinking of how unfair that— Vagos again! Vagos again, baby! Alright, next take. Quite a bit. I don't have a take, I'm just here to see who's a versus boomer and who's one of those indie era youngins. Well, there you go. Vagos! Vagos, another one! I may have to hide him from the channel if I keep seeing his name pop. No. At this point, the community and the YouTubers and big names has reached quite some opposite extremes of the ones they are critiquing. Now they're downright afraid and discouraging of discussing the research and try to explain themselves with its objective, despite all of the aspects of the episode being able to be labeled that way. And there are also, at this point, way more people talking about the community being shitty and nitpicky than the community being shitty and nitpicky. Everywhere we go, we see his face. But yeah, we did talk about these takes before. They have merit. They all have merit. I think how they used to do conclusions before 24-25 were way better paced out. Categories are fun, but I think they should only be saved for very close matchups. That last part I don't know if I would agree with. Like, save for very close matchup, I'd replace it with, like, a actually complicated matchup, so that like Death Battle can stay approachable, but also acknowledge the, Oh, what's up, Plime? Hey! How you doing, bro? Wait, is Hawk Krypton here too? I don't know, man. I don't know. Oh, wait. Oh, he's there. Okay. I think they used to... Anyways, but yeah, I think that But yeah, I have been voicing the opinion that, like, Death Battle should just not hesitate to nix the categories if their argument doesn't revolve around them. Like, Wile E. Coyote versus Tomcat, Gru versus Megamind, they didn't exactly need the... I mean, actually, no, Gru versus Megamind does kind of benefit from like, categories, but it has other issues. It just has other issues. Anyways, as I was saying, but yeah, I do, well, I mean, actually, I don't know about how the older conclusions were paced. I'd have to really pay attention to that to, like, see what he means, because, like, especially since the older conclusions did have, like, different pacing. Like, sometimes it would be long, sometimes it'd be really short, other times they'd be kind of meandery, other times they would condense so much in such a short amount of time, for better or for whether that's a good or bad thing. Yeah. Honestly, I do think I'd have to really, like, look into, like, Death Battle as a whole to see which one, to see what they mean with it, but yeah. The sudden heavy usage of My Hero Academia characters in the indie era is much more annoying than the Marvel vs. DC episodes people love to shit on, from my knowledge at least. And that the My Hero Academia people win every single time does not help that at all. Chat, does he know about All Might vs. Might Guy? Does he know about All Might vs. Might Guy? Or Deku's first episode, while I'm at it? Does he know about that?
Get that ass banned.
No. Get out, stupid. No, I'm kidding. Okay, oh, he got some replies. The MHA usage would probably be more tolerable if it were characters who didn't all scale directly to each other, and they use, like, some mid-tiers or lower. I prefer we don't get MHA for a while, but yeah, if they really need to, again, I'd like some character who isn't gonna insta-win with some scale BS. I do not like MHA personally, but I gotta admit there are some really cool characters there that they could use that isn't one of the main characters. Staying on Death Battle would be cool. Okay, this guy is saying, strictly speaking about the indie era here. I guess, fine, whatever. I'm scared that Jujutsu Kaisen is next. We'll be mad about that too, but right now we got the mini CSM arc where we had Reise Bakugo, then something different, and now just an episode later gets CSM again. Like, space that shit out a bit, god damn. I actually like CSM, but even I rolled my eyes at the announcement. Yeah, Yuji vs. Denji didn't need to happen so close. Alright, here's Hanka Krypton. Makima's characterization honestly suffers from one bad scene. The cackle. I agree. I very much agree. I love Vagos, and the issues with that are not just bad direction. Vagos, are you trying to say something to me? You got something to say to me, motherfucker? You want to say that shit to my face, little bro? Okay. Another Bakugo. Okay. Bakugo getting on here before Geese was a real slap in the face. I don't care for this. He technically wasn't on the island. He was a part of the 32, and he lost fair and square. Asterisk, but if Scott vs. Kazuma happens before Tom vs. Wild, people would have been pissed. Like, if it happened before that. I mean, Kratos vs. Asura happened before Tom vs. Wild, despite... Yeah, he did. He did. See, that one is more understandable. That matchup was in 2 tournaments and got second place in one, and it got second place in both, actually, and was easier to animate. It also won the Kickstarter goal, so it made sense why it happened first. Bakugo wasn't even 20th on the board. Bakugo only got on because Death Battle saw the Bakurese slander. They thought they could cash in, didn't realize the episode would take 4 months, but at that point, it was already too late, and all for an episode that didn't reach 1 million, the entire... Huh? Didn't reach 1 million in a month? Yeah, it did. Wait for this fucking thing to load.
Well.
Yeah, 1.6 million views. Yeah, it did. It did. Within less than a month. think I put something in the Death Battle Confessions Twitter and people didn't care, lol. Well, Sonics, if you want people to care, well, you know what to do. Anyways, yeah, that's why sometimes I feel like Death Battle needs another person to decide on the matchups. Not out of bias, but on what actually makes sense. Okay, I need to get something. Alright, yeah. Here we are. Okay. Alright, next one. They should have an episode where the loser is immediately resurrected after... Oh. Huh? Also, Macho Man versus Kool-Aid Man, but anyways. Like if Yang versus Tifa was them throwing down for fun, and Yang or Tifa used a Phoenix down on their opponent immediately after. That would sound like damage control. Miles versus... Okay, I'm giving you 1,000,000 sin points for calling the episode Miles versus Deku. It's either Miles versus Izuku or Spider-Man versus Deku. Miles Morales is Spider-Man, Izuku Midoriya is Deku. Anyways. It's worse than Megamind versus Gru in battle and banter. Giorno getting Eyes of Heaven scaling is completely fine. Based, Junko versus Springtrap is the worst popular community matchup of all time. Wrong, because Rosalina vs. Palutena exists. Anyways, despite what people say, I kind of miss the shock value older episodes had. Like that one of them was gonna die in a way he never would in canon. Honestly, fair. Yeah. Excuse me. Excuse me, heavens. Honestly, yeah, like way they would in canon. I guess there's also stuff like things about characterization, but yeah, I do think that like it would be nice to see Death Battle like take more chances with how combatants are killed. Like though after like Master Chief versus Doomslayer, well, this community's definitely going soft in that regard. I'm glad we don't get cutaways anymore. They're usually pretty weak, and the good ones were very sparse. I mean, not the hottest take in the world, but yeah, that's fine. I've yet to hear any valid criticism for... Any valid criticism! Most of the criticism is just whiny babies upset their preferred rematch didn't win and thus making... You're a tourist! You're a tourist! Tourist? Are you a tourist? Tourist? Are you a tourist? Tourist? You a tourist? You have any cash? You have any cash to stop being a tourist? You a tourist? Okay. Alright. There is massive disconnect between what Death Battle thinks we are complaining about versus what we are actually complaining about. Huh. Okay, Bakugo... How many of these are gonna be Bakugo versus Reze related takes? Shouldn't have been a thing because trends die out quick. No one's trying to say otherwise! Nobody's trying to say it needed to happen! You're not giving me the answer to that? Well, maybe you're... Well, how about you're banned from my Minecraft server? How about that? How about that, little bro? There you go. Anyways, we work hard on these episodes. We're not saying they didn't, but... Okay, it's usually the fans that are saying, like, the team works hard on these episodes. Like, no one really cared about it at all. They said Megamind 2 isn't the reason why he lost, but they were emphasizing that in the conclusion with the speed being the last tidbit at the end, and said, did we even watch the episode right? Okay, yeah, that I do disagree with the team on. They there's like I cannot defend that chicanery, and they still haven't fixed the writing for the conclusion. It keeps getting worse and worse. Perhaps. I dislike Ringmaster, and his inclusion on DBX worsened it by a large amount. Well then. We got a Ringmaster hater. Alright. Another Vago sake, here we go. By the way, to get my mooch thread here. Oh, okay. Shilling his friend, gotta shill your goat. Respect that. I hate whenever people go character X transformed first they lose. One, animation is just for fun, not the best defense for it, but okay. There are more cases where that doesn't apply than it does, that is true. And three, it's not a golden rule of death battle. There's more? It's logic and storytelling. If character A has to pull out a more powerful form to keep up with character B's base, and character B has their own super form, then no shit character A is probably going to lose. They aren't as strong. Well, like, I've always interpreted less that people are actually criticizing Death Battle for that, and more that people are just noticing, people just happen to notice patterns. Sometimes it happens. It's fine. Like, sometimes people are gonna point them out, but they don't always mean it as like a bad thing, or even as like, well, no, yeah, I get it. Death Battle 100% gave Omni-Man a biased win against Bardock as a way to stir up controversy in their first independent Death Battle. That way people would talk about it way more, and with it have Death Battle show up on more people's feeds, which would increase people's interest and in turn money. Jeremy Steinmark, I have a question for you. Are you a tourist? 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 Do you have any cash? Are you a tourist? Tourist? You are a tourist? Okay, yeah. Tourist Death Battle hater. Never thought I'd see them in my timeline. Megamind should have won against Gru in the recent Death. It's debatable, so who cares? Ichigo versus Yusuke was too late. Should have happened way earlier. Well, to me, it shouldn't have happened at all, but plus, Yusuke should have fought someone on its True. Yeah. Black Panther and Peter only being on the show once is criminal. Honestly, yeah, I agree. Like, at least for T'Challa. For Peter, well, we've had other web crawlers, so like it's not as huge. Another Miles versus Deku. Ugh! It's not Miles versus Deku. Stop it, people. Okay, we'll age horribly from the writing to the analysis and overall fight. Time will tell. I feel like every Death Battle season goes through like this hasn't aged well. Like, people used to say Season 5 was peak fiction, but now people are much more critical of it. People used to say Season 8 was peak fiction, didn't have a single bad episode except for like a Akuma vs. Shao Kahn, but now people are more critical of other episodes. People say Season 9 just didn't have a bad episode at all, but now people are saying that the season actually isn't that bad, isn't that good, or something, where it has like more episodes, even though like some people just don't go after the actually bad episodes from Season 9, but I digress. Season 10 is sort of going through that, but generally I'd say like Season 10 is like holds up much better than like those other seasons. But yeah. Obvious lopsided stomp fests aren't fun or interesting just because two characters have similarities. Well, it depends on what... I guess it depends on what the stomp is about. Yeah. I like Kratos versus Asura. I think Kratos succeeds most in scaling is in his versatility to deal with all of his matchups. Dante's healing, Leviathan Axe. Asura's mantra, Draupnir Spear. Gore's all black, Blaze of Chaos. Doomslayer's Maker Energy, Blade of Olympus. Well, I mean, I'm not a God of War power scaler, so like I don't have much to engage with there. 2026 so far probably is one of the worst franchise lineups we've ever had. Aside from Grumine, it's been almost exclusively shonen with very few new franchises. Say what you will about Marvel or DC episodes, but they did not feel that similar from one another like Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, and My Hero Academia. yeah, this is actually something that like I probably could have talked about when I discussed the Marvel vs. DC chicanery. Like I mean, not chicanery, conversation, like the talking points. This was one of those shows that'll definitely change your outlook on many episodes, whether it be small or drastic. That's true. Yeah, it is. But yeah, like, cause like with Marvel and DC, you at least have a distinction between heralds and street tiers, and it's a much clearer distinction than like the average shonen anime or manga series. But like, yeah, it has been a lot of shonen lately. Like so far in this year alone, we've had Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball. We've had Chainsaw Man, My Hero Academia, and Jujutsu Kaisen. That's six shonen series. And we haven't even gotten 6 episodes in the year yet. Though, like, I'm not gonna spoil the Comic Palooza stuff for people who, like, in the chat, but I will say, I decided to look it up since I'm gonna be skipping Yuji versus Denji to avoid spoilers. But I will say, I think this matchup is actually pretty interesting, in a sense. That's all I'll say. If Optimus Primal appears this season, he will win. He's the GOAT. I mean, he does beat X, so, I don't know what that is. The fact that it has been 11 years since the last BlazBlue and Guilty Gear matchup, and that episode being one of the worst in the show, is ridiculous! Archer versus Hakumen, Ragnar versus Velvet, and Baiken versus Dunban when? All 3 are good matchups, by the way. We just need more fighting game matchups. Yeah, the last fighting game matchup we had was Akuma versus Shao Kahn. Oof. Yeah. Just fucking give me Dimitri versus Slayer already. Like, come on. DJ says he's a fan of that matchup. Get the fuck on with it already. Alright. Mario vs. Sonic 2 is the worst modern death battle. Not as unpopular of an opinion as one might think, but still. Criticizing the show based on the episodes from season 1 and 2 doesn't seem fair to me. Wait, based on the episodes? Oh, wait, okay, never mind. I mean, like, really cold take, but, like, do not say the T word yet. He's got 2 more things. Zatanna is best girl. Zatanna? Who's Zatanna? I think not all current episodes need to have a vocal song for sure. I mean, not all current episodes have vocal songs. Like, Groove vs. Megamind didn't have one, Cell vs. Metal Sonic didn't have one, Blade vs. Buffy didn't have one, Hulk vs. Godzilla didn't have one, Wile E. Coyote vs. Tomcat didn't have one, Master Chief vs. Doomslayer didn't have... Yeah, you get my point. Y'all get my point, chat. Freezer versus Megatron is meh. Alright, so, bold but not uncommon. No one's trying to say otherwise. I don't know who that is. I actually know who he means. I'm just teasing his typo. I agree, honestly, even though that's already in thing. And yeah, I agree. Cooler than Freezer? You must be ice cold. No, that would be my father. Okay. I would like them to take some time to reorganize themselves a bit. I think the pace of the episodes has caught up with them, and I'm somewhat worried that this is affecting both their writing and the quality. Actually, yeah, I can see this. Makes sense to me. cause like 2025, they just fucking like cooked up a storm, man. Regardless of how those episodes are gonna age, it felt like it was a genuine contender for season 10 for a lot of people. In fact, some people just said it's outright better. But then like this year begins and we're all assuming peak. Like, Cell vs. Metal Sonic is gonna be peak chat. Groove vs. Megamind is gonna be peak chat. I just kind of wish, but like, I mean, Cell vs. Metal Sonic, I mean, it does have people who say it's an absolute cinema, but Groove vs. Megamind, well, we all know how people reacted to that episode. So yeah, I actually think that, yeah, this take makes a lot of sense to me. So, Fabrico Damio, you had something good. Good job. You get the Frostathan seal of approval. Alright. Shadow vs. Mewtwo doesn't warrant a rematch. Both have way better options. Shadow vs. Mewtwo has already started getting its detractors to say something. So, can't say I'm too surprised to see you seeing that. Disagreeing with the result can be a valid criticism. How valid are we talking, exactly? Like, are we saying it in the context of the verdict is wrong by their own logic? Thanks again for the super chat. You know, I heard about this guy. There's this YouTuber, there's this Death Battle fan who made a video on Guts vs. Dimitri that's like an hour long. I recommend you check it out. I think it'll validate your opinion there. Alright. But anyways, like, depends on what you mean by disagree, because, like, I think that the most I'll say, like, against, like, I'll stick with the outside factors, like, the complaint that Death Battle ignored this one thing, when, like, there's not a single Death Battle in existence that has ever showed the full extent of their research, so how do you know it actually got ignored? Maybe they just didn't think it was that important to bring up in the grander scheme of their argument. Okay. But, like, I think I gotta... Okay, it's not... I don't want to ostracize you, but I really think that this one should get more elaboration. Hi, Banana Boko 6804. I'm noticing you. Alright. Oh, thank you. I've had these glasses for 5 years now. Like, roughly. I love them. They're agender glasses. Hell yeah. Alright. Cartoon ideas are not my cup of tea. Alright. Worded like an opinion, but alright. Mostly because I barely engage with the media in question, so sometimes I could barely be bothered to give a shit. Subjectivity be like that. I find Sub-Zero vs. Glacius to have a more egregious sound design than Metal vs. Zero. Oh, do you now? Oh. With the latter, the sounds don't get on my nerves, and I feel like it's, and I like it's messy, and its messiness okay, he seems like he gets ironic enjoyment from how messy it is. Whereas the former sounds so weak and limp, which is worse since it's a fighting game episode. Okay, I can see what you mean by that. Like, okay, like, do I agree? No, but I appreciate the elaboration. Good job, Sakoma. You made a good case. The same people who complain about too many anime episodes are the same people who complain about too many Marvel and DC episodes. You think? You don't say! You a tourist? Are you a tourist? saw you at the airport. You a tourist? Are you a tourist? Metal Sonic Speed Blitz itself. The calculations were terrible! Even if you only take the non-immeasurable feats. Lamau! Literally skip Color's DS dialogue, which is crazy. What does Color's DS dialogue even say? Like... I mean, I think I know what scan you're talking about, but I just forget which one. But, yeah. While I still like the episode, Simone vs. Kyle has sort of fallen off for me. Mainly due to Simone's dialogue, but also other... Okay, let me get that gif out of the way because it's making my monitor lag. But also other problems, like it feeling very Simone-centric and the death not hitting as much as I would like. I do think there's, like, a case to be made for that, but there's also, like, in the episode's defense, Kyle Rayner doesn't exactly have, like, that many iconic Kyle-isms. Especially not on the same level as, like, Gurren Lagann. So, but, I do think this is valid. Bieber vs. Black is not the worst death battle episode. Don't get me wrong, it sucks! But by merit of being a Season 1 episode, it's not that bad by comparison. It's not even the worst poorly tasted one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Battle Royale. Like, I hate Backwind way more. Well, like, I have seen, like, a handful of people say that, like, they don't hate Bieber vs. Black as much, but because, like, it's more of, like, it's so, like, horrible that it's funny to me. And, like, honestly, sure, yeah. Personally, what drew the line for me was where they unironically scaled Justin Bieber's actual trauma he received from his psychotic fans and used that for verses. I just find that disgusting. I just found that too gross. Alternative endings were a good idea. People just overreacted because we had a bad first impression. I mean, I think alternate endings should just stick to, like, fun storyboard bits or some silly aftermath thing that the episode's animator wants to talk about. Oh hey, it's Maseye. Yang vs. Tifa is way overhated, even with my agreeing problem. Even if I agree with the problems the episode has. I mean, I both agree and disagree. Like, I agree in the context of, like, people treating Yang vs. Tifa like it's the second coming of Satan and that it hasn't left even after over a decade. But I also disagree in that, like, no, it's still a shithouse episode. Come on, it's like a terrible Tifa episode. Come on. I need more Digimon matchups. You do, but I don't, so. Hope I'm not late to the party. Hey. You're not. I personally think that the team should have definitely waited just a bit long. You're a tourist? Are you a tourist? Tourist? I saw you at the airport. You a tourist? You a tourist? Come on! How many? Okay, it has been a while, to be fair, but this is a shonen anime of 2026 of death battle hot takes. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh wait, wrong thing.
I can't believe this.
Oh my gosh, someone shoot me. Can't believe this, someone shoot me. Season 3 is not the worst season of the show. I believe Season 4 deserves that title ever so slightly more. Only slightly, huh? You had the correct opinion, but then you pussed out and said only slightly more? Bro. Just say it's objectively the worst. I'll make fun of you for using the word objectively, but I'll still be agreeing with you. I'll still be, like, fighting on your side. I think Ben versus Green Lantern was half accurate. I feel like Ben would have won if he kept his mouth shut about... I'm sorry. I shouldn't be laughing. He's just... why am I... I'm Why am I trying not to laugh? That's disrespectful as shit, bro. Why am I trying not to laugh? Oh my gosh. I don't know why that made me laugh as hard as it did. Oh my gosh. Like, holy shit, dude. Yeah, exactly, Sonics, cause in a sense he's right. He's technically right about that. Guys, I think Tom should have won if he didn't lose his 9 rail. Yeah. I feel like they should still do Q&As, especially for episodes in Season 9, as there are episodes that people would still want questions for debatable matchups, like Sauron versus Lich King. Oh, that's actually an interesting example. Yeah. Though I think, like, that episode, like, I feel streamlined the argument very, very well. But, yeah. Yeah, I say that, I do miss the Q&As, but I also understand why they just do it why it's one of those things that they only do whenever they feel like it. Because, like, especially after the Ben 10 vs. stuff like the Ben 10 vs. Green Lantern Q&A getting heavily ratioed, and the previous Death Battle cast also getting ratioed just because the episode didn't answer questions. So, stuff like that, yeah. But I do agree that, like, I think Q&As would be a great idea for, like, members-only stuff or, like, website-exclusive stuff. Like, that way the people, that way, like, incentive. Like, they did that initially for, like, Goku vs. Superman 23 and Galactus vs. Unicron, but then they just didn't go back to that for some reason. I don't know why, but... More Godzilla battles. And do actual research and treat them with actual respect. I'll hold my tongue on that. Goku Black vs. Reverse Flash is objectively...
I can't believe this. Someone shoot me.
Worst matchup they've ever done. Not episode, though it's very close to having that title for me. Matchup. Ivy versus Orchid. You're wrong. Okay. This is a horrible example of power scaling. If you want proper power scaling, watch something else. The research is... not exploring... Okay, hang on, chat. Hang on, chat. He may have a point. Not exploring the difference between infinite, inaccessible, and immeasurable speed. I think you might mean omnipresent, but, like, same difference, I guess. Not exploring dimensional transcend. Seymour vs. Kyle literally did that, but okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, this one right here. Salt notwithstanding, I think this just this part. Wait. Oh, fuck, my curve's not. But just this part. Not exploring the differences between infinite and accessible and immeasurable speed. That I find interesting. Also, the Goku Black vs. Reverse Flash is taking some bullshit. I came in here soon. Well, hi, Ethan. Hi, Ethan Espinel. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but Maxid Tagiv, you could have a creative mind, but don't say shit like horrible example of power scaling. Nobody's gonna take you seriously. No one with an IQ above single digits, at least. Hot take, Red Hood versus Winter Soldier is the second best live action episode next to Blade versus Buffy. Monoka, are you a tourist? Are you a tourist? Are you a tourist? Tourist? Are you a tourist? Tourist? Who the fuck is saying otherwise? You a tourist? You have any guts? Any guts? Hulk's only good episode is Hulk versus Godzilla. Behemoth, don't say that like I didn't see you warming up to Hulk versus Doomsday the other day. Shut the fuck up, Logup. Come on. Ash versus Yugi is overrated. It's a 9 out of 10. Doesn't sound like it's that overrated to me, but eh. I mean, just rewords say Ash vs. Yugi is not a perfect episode, and okay. Cole's analysis is significantly worse than Goku Black's ooh. Cole's analysis slander in the big 2026. Oh. But this one I could actually see having a point to it. This one I think we could start a conversation. I mean, I don't agree, but I do think it's an interesting opinion. But yeah, I still think that, like, Cole's and Alex's, like, mainly Alex's analysis, but they're kind of overhated. They really aren't that bad. As far as comedy, like, Death Battle's definitely done worse before and since. And so it's, and like, it's mainly just, they didn't go all the way with the actual themes matchup. My hair, yeah, my hair's fine. Okay, my hair's slick. Anyways. But yeah, if you said Alex's analysis, I would have been angry with you, but you said Cole's analysis, so I still don't agree, but I think it's an interesting argument. I think it's an interesting opinion. Yeah. Live action battles, Nightwing versus Daredevil and Winter Soldier versus Red Hood, for example, are overhated. Honestly, you could have just said Nightwing versus Daredevil and I would have fully agreed with you, even if I still think the episode is just kind of but I think the main reason why like I vehemently disagreed with, like, I expressed vehement disagreement with, like, Night Devil's representation because Nemesis Bloodride just shat all over that episode for, like, no reason. He just spent 2 minutes saying bad, 3 minutes, fuck off, fuck you, and I was like, screw you, man. Yeah. Do you know Death Battle Arena? I don't, is that a Twitter person? I don't know. Or, okay. Alright, but I mean, I think people generally still love Winter Soldier versus Red Hood. Hell, friend of the channel, Morquez Morizer, still has it as in his top 20 favorite death battles of all time. And it's still his favorite live action episode of the show. He likes all 3 of them, though. Delta Nova, I did in fact upload the Pumpkin Swift section of the Ruby Maka live stream to my second channel. I did that, like, last month. Anyways, for basically taking up most of Giorno's analysis, Gold Experience Requiem actually felt really underutilized in the fight. All Return to Zero did was halt Joker lightly running. Well, to be fair, that is typically how it works. And the Deathloop felt really poorly conveyed to the point I didn't realize, excuse me, I didn't even realize that was what that was. And I recognize the bad reference to the bad ending, so I get it. But honestly, yeah, I just think that, like, yeah, all it did was, like, Punch Barrage, Return to Zero, and Deathloop. Like, it would have been neat to see, like, the Life Beam, for instance, or maybe just feeling more like an extension of Gold Experience, as well as, like, the overpowered stuff. That would have been neat. Nemesis sounds like a hypocrite. Hey, his earlier reviewers are rough, man. I wouldn't call him a hypocrite. Let's not. Also, technically, Nem is a friend of the channel. Nem is a friend of this channel. Let's not throw shade at him. We can throw shade at some of his opinions, but not at the person. Come on, guys. Come on. Okay. To add to your point, when Gold Experience Requiem used Return to Zero on Joker, I was confused because you could still see the ice in the background. I thought Giorno was attacking his perception again. NTM? The rest playing off as comedic really came off as no one caring about Giorno's representation to me. I'm a little confused what you mean by NTM. Maybe I'm stupid? I don't know. Bowsegg is overrated as fuck and doesn't hit nearly as hard if you're not a Bowser fan. Hey, I heard it before. But else, I've heard one person who has this exact opinion, and they're one of the most obnoxious cunts I've ever had to interact with in my life. Not just on the internet, not just in the death battle community, I mean in my entire fucking life. No name dropping, obviously, but Just gonna say that. Just miserable human being. But yeah, I love the merch they have now, but I wish they sold prints or posters of certain matchups they've done. Like, I would absolutely kill for a sick Cell vs. Metal Sonic. Real! Okay, yes! This man is cooking! This man is cooking! Cook! Yes! Yes! More prints of episodes, please! Hell yeah! Hell yes! I would love a Guts vs. Dimitri poster, like, hung up with all the other ones. I could put it right next to that Blaze Blue poster. Can y'all see the Blaze Blue poster? Kind of. Okay. It's right next to the Sonic poster, the upper thing. Right next to that, that's where a Guts vs. Dimitri poster would go. Hell yes! Hell yes! Yes! Thank you, Waffle Maker. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Fuck it, I'll retweet it too. I need more people to have this opinion. Oh, Prince of the Music covers too. Yeah, that's also a really cool idea. Shigaraki vs. Mahito and Medic vs. Carolina are 8 out of 10. Master Chief vs. Doomslayer is worse than Kratos vs. Asura. Ooh. And Gogeta vs. Vegito is the worst episode of the show. Worse? Ooh. Okay, Boxy. Each take just got hotter and hotter. I kind of respect that. I gotta respect the fight progression. I don't even care if I don't even know what extent I would agree with everything he's saying, but I just respect. He added a literal power creep to his taste.
Oh yeah, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hell yeah. There should be a lot more emphasis on context for research instead of surface level feats, like Simon merging with himself, the death race concentration. Ooh, I got a super chat. Thank you. Yeah, honestly, yeah. I mean, like, there is a case to be made that Ichigo could benefited from, like, a modern episode. It just needed to be against someone that wasn't named Yusuke Urameshi, personally. But hey, that's just me. Like, also, yeah, Kenpachi's got a lot of really fun matchups. I once heard someone say that Kenpachi matchups are the fast food of versus matchup, but they meant that affectionately. I was like, you know, I think you have a point there. All right. Okay. Anyway, so back to this. There should be a lot more emphasis on context for research instead of surface-level feats. Simo merging with himself, the death race concentrated, yeah, that one especially. Most of Sonic's big entities needing more than one hedgehog at a time, etc. Yes, I agree. I agree. I agree. This, so much this. I don't know why Death Battle stopped going over, like, the thought process of calcs in their videos. I don't care if it's, like, I don't know. Thanks for the super chat, 10-2 knock. Yeah, what happened to Death Battle revisits? Like, we haven't seen one in, like, a long time. Thanks again for the super chat. Keep giving me more money, people. Keep them coming. Real. Honestly, real. Anyways, back to this. I don't know why Death Battle stopped, like, I don't know why Death Battle just, like, decided to stop, like, going over their calcs like they did in older episodes. Because, like, I mean, if it's like easy to streamline, like lightning timing or light beams and like just a shorthand of like what type of laser they dodge and stuff like that, fine. But like stuff like the death ray calc and I mean, actually, Simo merging with himself, they did scale it. They just didn't use the word outerversal. They just didn't say outerversal out loud. Last one. No. It was there was at least season, at least season 6, like around there. Like I'd say that was. Yeah, I really wish. Bowser vs. Eggman, then Metal Sonic vs. Cell implies Mario can beat Super Saiyan 1 Goku. He can! He fucking can! Mario one-shots Goku and you're gonna be okay with it. I don't know how hot of a take this is, but I kind of like Shadow vs. Ryuko. I like Shadow, and it introduced me to Kill la Kill properly. I can say now that they definitely did Ryuko dirty in terms of characterization, though. Well, I mean, I just think that Shadow vs. Ryuko is kind of a mediocre episode. But it has its fans. Like, I think Rina Antiquas like has it as one of her favorite episodes. I want to say, if I remember correctly. They stopped the revisit because it was confusing non-members and members on what videos are available. Oh. Maybe just like get another style of thumbnail. Like use different renders or like use a different render. Like just have. Like, left side you have Wiz and Boomstick, and then the other side you have the combatants. I think that could work, but honestly, thumbnail thing probably makes sense. I don't know if this counts as an unpopular opinion, but I can't bring myself to dislike Aang vs. Edward. That is an unpopular opinion. The episode isn't good, but it got me to watch Avatar and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, both of which I loved, and I have the episode to thank for checking out. Well, hey. Sometimes we all got episodes that we love. Yeah. I think the SNK representation on Death Battle shouldn't be left unnoted. Real! Also, am I following you? Am I following you? Oh, I don't follow you back. What the fuck? What the fuck? I thought it was. There we go. There we go, buddy. Anyways, yeah, real, I agree. It feels criminal that they don't get enough episodes. King of Fighters, Metal Slug, Samurai Showdown, even Last Blade for all I care. Yeah, they've only done Fatal Fury. And, like, I still don't understand why they haven't at least done How Maru vs. Mitsurugi. Like, you had Soul Calibur and Samurai Showdown at the biggest states they've ever been. And you didn't do it? You didn't? You even had, like, 3D models with no visual clash. That looked really fucking good. Why didn't you do it? Yes, King vs. T-Sock. Yeah, that's a goated one. Kazuya vs. Iori, it's fine. I just prefer Kazuya vs. Garo. But I like Iori a lot, so I'd be happy with that. Homer Simpson versus Peter Griffin should have won the tournament over Wily Tom if people wanted a true sequel to Courage Scooby. Yeah. Anyways, about this take, people want a true sequel to Courage Scooby. Honestly, yeah. Yeah. Homer versus Peter works better as like a, but like, I don't think anybody like was expecting any of the matchups really to be like to feel like a sequel to Courage versus Scooby, like Scooby versus Courage. Like people just only used it as an example because like Toon Force death battles can be really fun, actually. None of the episodes. Sorry, this fucker made me vomit! No, it was just, I just had to spit out some phlegm, because I'm recovering from a bit of congestion here and there, but holy shit! What are you doing here, little bro? Are you a tourist? You a tourist? Are you a tourist? You a tourist? Do you have any cash? Do you have any cash? I can pretend you're a good person if you have any cash! Should I do it? Should I hide this reply? Should I hide his reply? Wait, hang on. I just want to make sure that this guy... We need to do some investigative journalism. Chat. See if he's a troll or actually a hater. See if... Let's see what type of person they are. Genuinely think... Okay. I wouldn't say they hate... Okay. GOG. No. Hang on. Jury's out, chat. But yeah, I'll hide the reply anyway. Bye-bye. Ruby vs. Maka is overrated as fuck, getting carried by what it means to Death Battle as a series instead of as an actual episode, and if you remove the Monty connection, it's a forgettable mid-episode. Okay. I mean, I just think that, like, the Monty connection did kind of, like, overshadow, like, the conversation. Oh, thanks for... Have a good one, Canadian Waluigi. Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, I do think that, like, the Monty angle did kind of overshadow, like, every other talking point of Ruby vs. Maka. But, like, as for the episode, well, yeah. Death Battle fans can just be as annoying as Death Battle haters. They say they be nitpicky the littlest things, and Bakugo vs. Reze is a good example. Hey, careful chat. He's not slandering Bakugo vs. Reze. He's not slandering it yet. Hold your horses. Hold your tongue. The Death Battle team is not going to be super hyper-fixated on details. This is a show about bashing action figures together. No a crossover. Honestly, yeah. We need more theme-based matchups, even if the balance isn't there. Especially when there is a popularity underdog. Digimon vs. Pokemon is one of my favorites for that. People thought Mega Zard had a... Did they, though? Did they really, though? When only gods like the Creation Trio have a chance against the War Greymon. Honestly, I'd say it depends on context, personally. They should not do episodes for characters they don't know. The Nero Claudius Fate episode is going to be a disaster. Oh. Chat, he's slandering the island's winner. Chat. Preemptive slander of Nero versus Geats. The preemptive slander. What do we say to that? What are we gonna say to that? What do we gotta say to that? No, Tyler. This isn't island slander. This is matchup slander. Just happens to be the one that won the island event. Personally, I just don't have much of an opinion on Geats versus Nero. I mean, like, I think Nero's a weird choice to debut Fate on the show, but like, I do want to check out Fate and Kamen Rider Geats at some point in the future. And I'll be sure to do that before the episode comes out. Alright. Sora only got to appear in one of these, and Pit had no business being his opponent, lol. Fair. I mean, if Kingdom Hearts 4 is actually going to come out, I could see them bringing Sora back. Yeah, thanks for the super chat, Arcticabis64. Depends on context. Like, if the debate is, like, really fucking good and interesting to talk about, there are so many layers to it, then I think it can offset the lack of themes. I'd say Ghost Rider vs. Lobo as an example. Anyways, yeah, I could see Sora coming back if Kingdom Hearts 4, like, is actually allowed to be released. And, like, And, like, I don't know if Pitt has a shot at coming back. Not even because Lol Kidicker's dead or anything, which, But, like, the team just outright said Pitt versus Zagreus is not their preferred for Zag. Come on, man. Okay. They really need to make up their minds that forms that only exist as temporary amps or abilities that require specific setup, often unobtainable by themselves, are allowed or not. I mean, I like to think they do. But yeah, stuff like Super Saiyan Bardock does kind of like throw a wrench into this whole thing. Sekoma, we already heard from you, but we'll hear from you again, guys. I have one about Death Battle fan comments. Okay, it's a different take, so we'll allow it. I have one about Death Battle fan competitions like tournaments, islands, and such. We shouldn't vote for a matchup on YouTube's poll since we can see what the percentage. I mean, to be fair, I think the poll was like only visible to members, so we can see what the percentage is. Voting should be kept a secret so it wouldn't be affected by others changing and increasing their votes. Honestly, yeah. Honestly, given how the island event went, yes, I agree. They should just make votes a secret at this point. In my personal opinion, as a hot take, X vs. Cosmos was mistreated a lot because of the gap in tiers and lack of connections, and not everything in Versus must 100% follow the same theme to be a good idea in general. That is a loaded take that, like, it's, like, not controversial to say, but has a lot of things that you could say, and I don't know if I could be able to, like, it would be apt for me to go through every single... X vs. Cosmos is, like, one of the first versus matchups that X was a part of. I, like, had X in it. Yeah, I feel like they're just gonna do X vs. Primal at some point. I think most any matchup involving an Wait, I'm skipping ahead. What was I gonna say about this? Anyways, I guess there are things like a contrast matchups or like some sort of like ulterior angle, like Shigaraki versus Maito's nature versus nurture theme going on. Like, or things like anti-hero versus anti-villain, maybe? As long as the connections are like enough, it could work, but they need a lot of it. I think most any matchup involving an individual Pokemon are incredibly lame, with like maybe 2 or 3 legendaries being exceptions. Actually, I'm actually interested in this take. Like, chat, I think this take is... Yeah, Cosmos is from Xenogears, I believe. But yeah, I think this take is pretty interesting. Because, like, individual Pokemon, like, there isn't so much you can say about them. Like, we all love Goro versus Machamp, yes? But even then, how much can you really say about Machamp specifically? Or, like, as far as, like, episodes that actually became a problem because of this. Lucario versus Renmon, you know, they tried to go for a nature documentary angle and it didn't work. Really didn't work. I guess, but, like, Lucario at least has, like, a movie dedicated to him, so, like, there's some story potential behind that. But yeah, shockingly, we've only had Red and Ash, I believe, as far as, like, Pokemon trainers on Death Battle. And only one of them is specifically from the games. Yeah, I honestly, Arctic Best, yeah. Any documentary battle can work if the script is good. Sure, yeah. But, like, yeah, I do think that we should, like, see if we can find any actual trainer matchups. Like, there's a Cyrus versus Poochie, I know, is one. There are people who like Ragyo versus Luzamine. Personally, I just don't want Ragyo on Death Battle at all. Like, And no, it's not because she wins her matchup. I don't care about that. I just don't want Ragyo discussed on Death Battle, period. Personal reasons. Metal Sonic vs. Zero was not that bad. Yes, it was. The sound design and one iffy shot was the only actively terrible. I mean, if the sound design is, like, throughout the entire episode, then what do you mean it's not that bad? Riku versus Meta Knight is... I guess like what's fun for you can be subjective, but I just personally find it to be really slow, though like I don't like hate it as much as like people did on release, or like as like Carrick used to, actually no, as Carrick currently hates it. I forget, did he give it a 1 or 2 out of 10? Either way, it was like his bottom of his season 3 ranking, I believe. Meta Knight versus Zero even close? Not really. Too much criticism in the community is based around wanting episodes to be like other episodes rather than judging them by their own merits. Like expecting Ash... He gave it to... Okay. Like expecting Ash, Yugi, and Grumine to be Bowsegg 2 or Wild Tom to be Scooby Courage 2. Honestly, yeah. I can see that. People should like stop trying to sell matchups as like... It could be like this other episode. Like, I mean, it could be used as like a jumping off point if you want to explain how it would be... How it could be different from that. But... No. But like... Other than that, otherwise, no, don't compare, don't use other episodes to sell a matchup. You don't need to do that. Sometimes I like both characters equally, and I don't want to see them kill each other. Okay. Sailor Moon vs. Makima... No. Sailor Moon vs. Madoka isn't a bad mashup. And they should do it soon. Well, B, I know you're not in the chat anymore, but you have a supporter, I guess. I don't like Moon vs. Madoka, but... Hey. Tell this man to give Anabi her, like, some love. Anabi's great. Ash vs. Yugi is... Ash vs. Yugi is what now? Huh? Multi-continental Ash versus 7D Yugi is what now? Huh? I didn't quite pick up on that. Could you like say it louder so the chat can hear you, grass type dude? Could you say it louder? Huh? I think we might need to run that back. Cause I can't hear you over the grass that's being touched by all of us right now. Like, I'm touching grass. Okay, I'm being a little too mean. No, not tourist. No, not a tourist, just wrong. There's a difference between being a tourist and being wrong. Come on, guys. He's not a tourist. Say the word. Oh, hi, Zero Door. It's strange. To this day, I still like Metal Sonic vs. Zero, and I don't know why. Digital time moment. Actually, wait, I do have a matchup hot take. Not a huge fan of Flowey vs. the Princess after playing it. Conceptually, it does sound cool, but in terms of execution, wow, there are a lot of problems with it. I did discuss it. I did discuss it with the Trash Picks crew in our podcast. But I just need to play the games to get like a full opinion on it. See if like a Zero Door, since you're in the chat, what do you think of Princess versus Beatrice from Umineko? Do you think that matchup is a better Princess? Well, I mean, hang on. Be careful about how you word it, but do you like Princess versus Beto? I never played Kill the Princess either, so you're asking the wrong guy. Sorry. We'll wait on Zero Door's response. The problem is that the princess relies on how other people perceive her. As her transformations oh, so it's a princess problem in general, not just a matchup specific thing. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I mean, I need to play... Excuse me. I need to play Slay the Princess to, like, actually address all... Like, go for all of these in better faith, but... Gru vs. Megamind is just bad, and people shouldn't sugarcoat it, because I think it does... harm! More than it does good. You didn't even say bad, you just said harm! Damn! Damn!
Get that ass bent.
Yeah, no, get that ass... No. I understand that they made a lot of custom-made models, but they bit more than they can chew. I'm sorry, but that just speaks on how bad the direction really is. Oh! 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 Damn! That is mean! Like, there's being wrong and then there's just being mean. Like, holy shit, dude. A video on the internet actively harmed somebody. Okay, not generational. Not quite. Sonic vs. Goku and Mario vs. Sonic are lame as fuck. Oh, he's going after both! He's going after both, chat. Big Boss Ahmed says bad Hey, he got the ratio! That's my goat! We got the ratio! Let's go! I support the ratio. But yeah, I really don't like Sonic vs. Goku, and like... Mario... I like Mario vs. Sonic as a matchup, but I don't need a Mario vs. Sonic 3, and like, it's not my favorite for Sonic. At least. I'll be honest, I really feel like their Dragon Ball bias needs to be toned down a little bit in character analyses. Whenever they see a big beam move, it's compared to the Kamehameha. Any life force is sort of compared to Ki and other stuff like that. Real. Chat, this Rue guy is speaking the truth. This Rue person doesn't even follow me, yet they spit facts, so they're welcome to the Jonathan Frostathan verse. They're welcome to the... They are welcome to the channel just because of this take alone. Anyways. Here we go. The probable span means that we're almost done with the replies, chat. Getting through there. Oh, they follow Cybird! Oh wait, no, Cybird follows them. Cybird follows a lot of people, honestly. Like, Cybird follows me. And I don't even know who that guy is. I've just known about him since for about a decade now. It's always been like this. Anyways. I don't think Death Battle should do episodes that involve cosmic level I think I like where this is going. Because more often than not, when using characters that can do anything they want with reality warping and whatnot, it often disappoints when it comes to fight choreography and creativity. Well, it depends on context. Like, if both characters are known for that, like Bill Cipher versus Discord, it can create an interesting, like, debate to it. I think that's entirely... Oh, hey, here's Scream. I think that's entirely dependent on the actual animation and script of the fight over the matchups themselves. Bill vs. Discord is a good... Oh, hey, we both said the same thing. It's a good example of cosmic scale characters being done right by actually using their reality warping in cool, creative ways, rather than something like Thanos vs. Darkseid, which is entirely focused on scale rather than having their abilities play off each other. Thanos barely uses any of the stones beyond basic shit, and Darkseid... Oh my gosh, you spelled it wrong in 2 different ways. Wow, chat. How do you spell Darkseid wrong like in 2 different ways? Whatever. Does nothing beyond shoot Omega beams and get bigger. Yeah. Like I said, it's context. Stomp matches should stop being less like Enough with Bakugo versus Reze, people! I know it's been a while, but fucking hell. I think people are just... Okay, no, I need to finish the thing. And more like Shigaraki versus... Oh, okay. I reacted preemptively. I apologize. More like Shigaraki versus Mahito, where the person getting stomped also has moments of dominating the fight. Sure! Yeah. I think people are just too obsessed with the result of a matchup or series and how waiting periods are lately. Yeah, some people were doomers. Death Battle community's got a lot of doomers. Gru vs. Megamind wasn't bad, we just overhyped it, that's all. Also, I made a promise to my viewers if Gru won, I would gift Classic Man D $25 with a question from this forum. Classic Man D mentioned in my realm? Oh, and by the way, I had a fucking heart attack when I woke up to a notification saying, asking Classic Man D what he thought of my Ben vs. Hal video. Like, I don't need Classic Man D ranting about my canon event. No thanks. He's gonna take the piss out of it. I know that. Please, no. No. He doesn't need to see that. He can watch it on his own time, but he doesn't need to make a video on it. I don't need publicity from him or his fan base. Please, no. That actively horrifies me. Who's Classic Man D? Alright, chat, let's take a brief field trip so that the young ones know who this Classic Man D person is. He's expressed thoughts on a lot of death battles, and they tend to do pretty well. Like, I think he was, to be fair, he's been more positive about the show lately. Like, he was positive on Hulk vs. Godzilla. He was positive on Dante vs. Clive and Blade vs. Buffy, and Galactus vs. Unicron. Technically for Rui vs. Maka, but he also complained, like, but he also did the AP therefore nonsense. He loved Metal Sonic vs. Cell, though. Frieza vs. Megatron, he didn't even talk about, he didn't even really talk about the episode much. He just said, Frieza AP, therefore. Yeah, he's technically chill, but sometimes his death battle opinions are... Aang vs. Oh, Vader vs. Obito. He hated that episode. He did not like that episode. Joker vs. Giorno. He didn't have much to say because, like, he wasn't familiar with persona scaling. Most he had to say versus Wise was like, "Why are you using Eyes of Heaven?" And it's like, whatever, man. Chief vs. Doomslayer had the same take as like Friezatron and Ruby Maka, but he was much more positive towards it, and also like gave props to the temporary truce. Yeah, Classic Man D is generally a cool guy. It's just that when it comes to death battle, well, he can be pretty volatile in the community. Yeah. Well, folks, it's about that time. Yeah. I think I'd say that I like the guy more than I don't, but him talking about one of my videos actively scares me. Actively scares the shit out of me. The Latin American dub of Death Battle, while it has had its problems in terms of delivery and timing, I think they've done a pretty decent job and very well in some episodes. Although they do have their low points like any dub, and I hope they keep improving. Hey, shout out to the Spanish dub. We'd love to see it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, baby!
We love shoutouts to him. Oh yeah, Classic Man D is like far from the worst Death Battle debunkers, if you want to call them that. Like, I do agree. Yeah, Latin American is more like Spanish. In fact, like, I think Boomstick has the same Spanish voice actor as Stanford Pines from Gravity Falls. And I think Wiz is voiced by Inuyasha's Spanish voice actor. I think. But yeah. But yeah. God bless. We love giving props to the Spanish dub. Hell yeah. Gogeta vs. Vegito is the most overhated episode in the whole show. I do think, to an extent, it's overhated. Like, I think it's more that, like, it just didn't really need to exist. Alright. Hey, Tank, what's up? Homer vs. Peter should happen! I don't care if people say they fought before. So did Terminator and RoboCop. It should still happen. Hashtag death battle. Is anybody saying it shouldn't? I think Arthas Oh! Oh! Hello, DoorDash? I would like to purchase your entire selection of alcohol, please. Holy shit! Hottest take of the night so far. And he dislikes the staring contest. It's a staring contest! And he just leaves. Generational! I've just never seen this guy before. And he dropped a generational in my atrocity? Oh. Bro. Oh. Yeah. I'm popping a cold one. Jug a jug jug, behold my lad. Rospetto's a big toot, just like my dad. Dousing booze with the old hee-ho, and away my brain goes. Yeah, penultimate reply, what a way to go out. Alright, now the final one of the replies. It's very clear on some episodes, they do not do anywhere near the same depth of research for both competitors. To the point it's more like they chose who they wanted to win, and then... Oh. You had me, then you lost me, lil bruv. You had me, then you lost me. We had a good thing going, you stupid son of a bitch, but you had to ruin it with your pride and your ego. Okay. Yeah, fuck it. Okay. Okay. I want to address it in good faith, but we will get it out of the way now. At least one last time. You a tourist? Are you a tourist? You a tourist? Tourist? Do you have any cash? Are you a tourist? You a tourist? I saw you at the airport. You a tourist? Ugh. Wow. But anyways, yeah, I do actually hate to admit it, but Ome is hungry, has a point when they say that Death Battle has not been expressing the same depth of research for both competitors. They're trying to, like, prioritize engagement, and sometimes that means skimming over their calcs. And, like, it doesn't always harm an episode, but when it does, it does. Like Groove vs. Megamind. How the fuck did the death rate count get that low, guys? What the fuck did you do? You called it a mountain buster, but then count their fucking city block level. What's wrong with you, Death Battle? Come on. I hope somebody got fired for that blunder. Alright, we're done with the replies. Now, on to the quote retweets. Oh, wait, no. That's not how it works here. Post activity, I think? Alright, quotes. Alright, here's Drunk Giraffe. Yeah. This is the one that I glanced at, and I'll get to why in a bit. Refusing to release research documents, especially for modern episodes where the writers struggle to either fit everything in, Bowser vs. Eggman, or just don't do a good job explaining Groove vs. Megamind, is so dumb! Ash vs. Yugi got one, and it was interesting. Again, I think Death Battle should do paid content. Yeah, I was just gonna go into that. DJ Tiki did reply to this. Let me, view post activity. Yeah. Oh, Moonray replied as well. Q&As used to be a thing the researchers went out of their way to do for each episode, but we never got compensated for it, and after a while, people kept using it to threaten us. It became a community expectation and obligation, so now they're on a case-by-case if we feel like it. Yeah, precisely. Then Moonray said, refusing is a very strong word. I've always seen Q&As as a bit of an extra treat from the researchers after every episode where it is deemed necessary to have one. That's why I think Ash Yugi had a big one ready to go, given how much discussion there was behind it. Okay. Yeah. Honestly, I think all three of these have merit. Like, I agree with Moonray that, like, Drunk Giraffe using the word refusing, pretty hyperbolic. But I do think, and like, I wouldn't also say it's dumb, but every once in a while, there does come an episode that just flat out needs one. And like, also, they also, DJ explained it quite well, understand why they wouldn't. Me saying refuse is poor wording on my end. Still, I stand by some episodes betting for, yeah, I was just gonna go into that. Like, there are just moments where, like, it's very blatant that some episodes just really could benefit from like, additional content, some elaboration and additional content. Like, 100%. Like, it's also, like, feels kind of selective. Like, with Omni-Man vs. Bardock, they elaborate on it in the following Death Battle cast, but like, not for most other episodes? I mean, I guess they kind of did for Groove vs. Megamind, but I think somebody had to ask about it first. Whereas, like, with Omnidoc, they just, like, flat out, like, stated that. Okay. Alright. Let's check out the other quote tweets. Oh, hi, Gumball. People are so quick to blame an animation for a problem that's actually tied to the script above. Real. This is why Gumball is my GOAT. This is why he's a friend of the channel. And as a result, plenty of criticisms are given to the wrong people. Oh shit, Nem! Hello! Holy shit, Nem! I didn't even notice that. What the f... Wiz and Boomstick sound so tired and formal these days, man. They barely sound like the same characters to me. I miss that feeling of two bows that just want to gas up how cool this motherfucker is. Which sucks because I know why that will never come back. Well then. Honestly, I agree. The show desperately needs more tokusatsu outside of Godzilla and Power Rangers, but some of y'all act like Toku is niche. I mean, it is niche, but okay. But no, yeah, I do agree, like, more tokusatsu. Like, we're getting Kamen Rider soon. Maybe, actually getting Super Sentai properly. Yeah. I just want Wiz and Boomstick to have, like, actual interactions again. I think oh, here we go. I think I saw this one. I think the they need views / this episode is gonna get 0 views point is kind of overhyped, if that makes sense. Dog, it's Death Battle. The shit is gonna get hundreds of thousands of views regardless of what they do. Plus they have a lot of other money making off. Yes, I've been saying this. Death Battle, in spite of its flaws, is one of the best versus shows on the internet, but nobody will agree because of an episode they saw nearly 10 years or even 7 years ago. Absolute king. Yes, sir. Oh, hey, it's you again! Death Battle is growing, yes, but I do feel like they should stop slowly shifting away from the core community. They're becoming a bit too impersonal. Something present even in casts. Also, Death Battle isn't the be-all, end-all. No one's saying otherwise. Grewmind was correct, IMO, but the calcs were bad. Always use your mind. Hey! He's right. He's right, you know. Love the show to death, and I don't know if this is unpopular, but I think the idea of Death Battle being the end-all be-all to a verse debate is, to put it bluntly, fucking stupid. Because at the end of the day, it's a random group of dudes' opinion. They don't hold a higher standard to anyone. I want to say this is a cold take, but that's only because it's something I believe for years. Even before I started making Death Battle videos. So, like, I got a bit of bias in that. The character has to kill rule just ends up fucking over and mischaracterizing a lot of characters. I get it's there to say this is both going all out, but considering how you sacrifice characterization to make it work, I question if it was a good idea in the long run. Art, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to do it to you, bruv, but are you a tourist? Are you a tourist? Are you a tourist? Are you a tourist? 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 You have any cash? Have any cash to give them to stop killing tourists? Are you a tourist? I'm sorry, Art. I'm sorry, Art, but you really forced my hand. You just... I'm sorry. Just look at the flowers, Jonathan. Look at the flowers when you call him a tourist. He's one of your best viewers. He's one of your most iconic... He's one of the most iconic viewers of this channel. Just look at the flowers. Look at the flowers. Look at the flowers. Tourist. Okay. Look at the just look at the flowers. Look at Why is Tifa oh, Tifa is trending. I don't want to look into why. I got minors watching this stream and I don't want to take any chances. Anyways, there's way too many franchises and series that go underrepresented. It's comical. True. Barely anything from books. Nothing from Power Rangers that isn't from Mighty Morphin. Heard that before. I know that they're business at the end of the day, but it gets boring seeing the latest hotness. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Xanabi! Sailor Moon vs. Madoka Kaname is best for both and needs to happen at some point. The community needs to learn not to take this internet show about smashing action figures so seriously. And the last one. Star Wars Mega Man was wrong! He should have won in the Mega Man Battle Royale! Fucking fight me! Finally, well... okay. Okay, girl. Alright, go off. Go off, queen. Give me Ultraman! Okay. Actually, hang on. It would be nice if they legitimately did more franchises rather than just doing the same few ones. Yeah. How many... We've gotten this take so many times, chat. It's unreal. Like, it's so surprising we haven't even gotten an Ultraman matchup yet. Or more of Godzilla's Rogue Gallery, Transformers characters, or hell, even He-Man. Okay. Okay. It is a take we've heard before, but he did at least bring up some new franchises like Transformers and He-Man. Like Masters of the Universe. Yeah. This is definitely gonna be a hot take. Or is it? But it's something everyone needs to hear. It's not Death Battle themselves who are biased against Dragon Ball. It's the Death Battle community who have a heavy bias. Oh! Oh! Oh? Oh, hello? 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 My deepest condolences. For the Goku fans. My reaction when the next battle is Superman vs. Goku. Already got tickets to Goku's funeral. Twitter's funny sometimes. Goku on fighting Superman. I'd rather go 0 for 30 than 0 for 9 because you go 0 for 9, that means you stop shooting. That means you... Can't wait for Goku to eat his third L against the same guy. How some people feel about Goku vs... Nah, I'd win. How some people feel about Goku vs. Superman 3. If Superman wins again, it will feel like they're just rubbing in another loss for the Goku fans. If Goku finally wins, it will feel like a pity win, and they just throwing a bone for the Goku fans. Just like Goku fans sadly can't win. Okay, this one actually was kind of pushing it. I'll give you that one. But the other ones, come on. Everybody was making those memes. Dragon Ball fans were making those memes. Death Battle fans is what's wrong with Death Battle. Debunk this and debunk that. My opinion's better than your debate me. Shut the fuck up. He's saying fans in quotes, so he's not. So I assume. So he's presumably not referring to you, chat. The writing team is all over the place. Wow, it's almost like having multiple writers with different writing styles means that the writing is going to have different levels of quality and different levels of style. Oh shit, this is a big one. Probably not unpopular, but the conclusions have gotten so much worse and uninformative. Every other episode is confused despite it being geared to casuals, and it feels like a lot is a fault of the presentation. They really need a new system or more deliberate writing, since a lot of the community ends up making stupid assumptions, which is a different can of worms this community hot doo-doo. And I understand not trying to badmouth yourself live on Fireside, but when it's very clear that a lot of the fans that pay for your show are asking many questions about your presentation being confusing, it comes off as ignorant and very dismissive when you blame the community first rather than admitting anything on your part. Of course, I have no ill intentions when saying all of this, but if the standard keeps up, then I think the team is gonna end up in hot water very soon, and it will be very awkward and such. So that was a lot. That was a lot. I want to process this. I swear, I'm trying to process this in good faith. But it genuinely felt like too much for me. Oh, hey, they're in the chat. Yeah. Look, I'm not disrespecting your take. Just know that. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to your take. I swear. I'm trying. I swear. Okay, so let's break it down sentence by sentence. The conclusions have gotten so much worse and uninformative. I mean, I can understand that because they've done more speed running for like the versus stuff and such. Like, I think Death Battle just needs to take more time with the calcs. Actually, what I think they should do is like just like in the conclusion, like save the calcs for the conclusion. That way, there's more dedicated time to. That way, there's like more. This way, there's like a. It's like more apt. That way, they can say, hey, this feat the character did is stronger than this feat the other character did. Here's why. Like, and here's how we got to that result. Like, they can skim through like any like random ass calculations in like the character rundowns. Fair enough. More dedicated time to conclusion in general would be true. Yeah. I know they gotta keep it up, but. All right. Next one. Every other episode, someone is confused despite it being geared to casuals, and it feels like a lot is at fault of the presentation. Sure. Yeah, I can see that becoming a thing. Like they try gearing it to casuals, but there's still casuals who end up confused anyway. Like that's why I think like Death Battle should just be less hesitant to be like the show they want to be, rather than trying to rather than just like trying to appeal to as many types of people as possible. They really need a new system or more deliberate writing team, since a lot of the community ends up making stupid assumptions. If by stupid assumptions you mean that the community has to like elaborate on the argument for the episode, then it depends on context. Like if they're taking a feat that in episode... Oh, hey, Gumball. Alright, anyways. Like if they're taking a feat from the analysis that like a... hang on. Okay, I'm kind of losing my train of thought here. Sorry. Like, What's the hottest take so far? Gumball, somebody said that Sauron vs. the Lich King is just straight up a bad episode. It's not even like Hyper Starman who just said it's not for them. They just said it's bad, and they hated the best part of the fight too. We were all crashing out over that. Generational. Anyways. But anyways, yeah. Yeah, I think that, like, if a Death Battle reviewer is, like, taking like, a feat that an episode already discovers and, like, and they dissect it, it really depends on, like, no, remove that half J. We're not tolerating Sauron Lich King slander, period. Come on, remove that half J. Remove that half joking. You can be serious. Oh, wait, Gumball? Huh. Well. Anyways, okay, I keep losing my train of thought. Fuck! Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's move on so we can get back to brass tacks, chat. Okay, come on. We did our crashing out over that opinion. Let's move on. Okay, so if Death Battle brings up a feat from, like, and they show where the feat is from, and a feat that gets a calculation, and a Death Battle reviewer decides to engage with that moment in the story and, like, elaborate on context, it just all depends on what they end up saying. I feel that it all depends on what they end up saying. If they mean it in the sense, if they like focus on the factors that like the episode already brought up, or with other arguments that are meant to support a Death Battle's verdict, then it can be used as a means of proving that, okay, no, well, to be fair, Death Battle's at least being consistent with their argument. That's fine. But if there are a few details that they're missing, like from that feat, that could have been nice, that like even if they doesn't immediately debunk the argument, does still kind of throw a wrench into it that like requires, that like still need it to be acknowledged, then yeah, I can see that being a problem. Cause like, earlier I said that I want to focus on like I'm going to try my best at recontextualizing Death Battle's verdicts, like with the feats they use, as well as some other stuff I bring up. But it's also not supposed to get to a point where I'm just basically making the argument for them. Like that's where it becomes a problem. And I understand not trying to badmouth yourself live on Fireside, but when it's very clear that a lot of the fans that pay for your show are asking many questions about your presentation being confused, it comes off as ignorant and very dismissive when you blame the community first rather than admitting anything on your part. I don't know if I'm not sure if like there have been too many people. I don't know if there's like too many instances. Oh, the Groove Megamind Q&A oh, Groove vs. Megamind got a Q&A? I didn't know that. I'd have to check that out. That's it, you're 2 hours late, little bro! Where the fuck were you? Anyways. But yeah. Oh, via 5, okay, that makes more sense. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, yeah, that was an instance of like them like blaming the community. Yeah, that I wasn't a fan of how Ben approached that. But yeah, but outside of that, I can't really say that there are too many instances of like the Death Battle team like directly blaming the community for stuff. The most they do is like tell the community to like, hey, we've heard that there's some toxicity going around. Let's tone it down a bit, guys. And like there was a tier list that some guy made of like the Kickstarter pitch matchups. And like the team found out about that, and they said that they weren't a fan of it. They wanted to be taken down because it just felt disrespectful because it just very easy led to being disrespectful towards people who did get there. Yeah, Matt, I read your opinion. I read it. But yeah. Of course, I have no ill intentions when saying all of this, but if this standard keeps up, then I think the team is going to end up in hot water very soon and will be very awkward and such. Yes, yes. Because I can't really find the original forums as easily anymore, but I strictly remember seeing like older Screw Attack forums, mainly like other people's videos, but I still found them, where Ben Singer was not only like constantly like pushing back against disagreements, but also like actively having a holier than thou. This was mainly in like the first 2 or 3 seasons, I want to say. And yeah. And like, I strictly remember multiple moments where Ben was being more humble about it. So yeah, stuff like the Gru versus Megamind Q&A thing, like, I mean, I don't think he was like a mean per se. He was like, the most he was saying was like, that's not what we argued. The only reason I took issue was because, yeah, you kind of did argue that actually. But yeah, nobody is fully above, like, their own egos. Not all the time, at least. Yeah, it seemed like nobody was on this. Yeah. That's mainly what it was. Just remember, people, stay humble, and be sure to take yourself down a peg if you need to. Anyways, real talk, thank you so much for the long but insightful opinion. Like, genuinely. I think the community fucking sucks and never learns after turning people away from the... Yeah, and Bao has a laser cannon. It's also bothersome how modern Death Battle works a lot towards community activities, considering the Death Battle fandom fucking sucks. But I like Death Battle. Honestly, I don't think that I don't think that the team should just, like, stop interacting with the community. But there is like a level of parasocialism that I do think should be discussed more often, especially by the team specifically. Like, they can still do champions events, they can still do fireside chats, but I think that when it comes to like the official Death Battle Discord, I've seen a couple of the team members like get a little reckless with like how they responded to other fans. Like, I've seen a couple of mods like just like get caught up in arguments with a couple members, like fans here and there. And like, I think to that extent, yeah, just like, okay, okay, they were server mods, so like it's not a problem that they were talking with the fans at all. It's just that, again, be sure to take yourself down a peg. Like, if people are saying you're on a high horse, just take yourself down a peg. Yeah. Oh, hey, that's me. If anime episodes are going to be their new bread and butter, they need to branch out from more than just Battle Shonen. Yeah, where's Spike versus Revy, DJ? Where the fuck is Spike versus Revy? You said you wanted to cook with that matchup. Why have you not gotten in the kitchen yet, lil bruv? But yeah, not even just like seinen, also like more magical girl anime or shoujo, and like that could be fun. Like more mecha anime as well. Oh yeah, that's actually a good point. Why is Kakashi on the Death Battle banner? Like, I don't understand that either. We need more fighting game matchups. I'm sure our last one was Akuma getting punked. Like, it was. Yeah. Truth nuke.
Hooked to the Is and will forever be the best episode of the show. Low key, no cap, animated rules, I just enforce them.
Could you keep it down, brother? Could you keep it down, brother?
I can't
Talking
believe
a little too
this.
loud there.
Someone shoot me.
Okay, this is another one I read. And I think I even responded to as well. Honestly, I think Death Battle does rely on rage bait engagement and some forms of misinformation in episodes, whether it be subtle in the research or presentation or larger in the animation and outcome. It's like Fox News' false consciousness effect, but for pointless nerds. Pointless nerd debates, he meant. Yeah, I did respond to this. I've had this convo before, so I won't repeat myself, but that Death Ray Calcan group versus Megamind is probably the most rage baity thing I've seen them pull in a while. Yeah. Like, Jack Lopesti, don't... Hold off, I'm in. He's a good boy. He's a good person. He's a good faith critic. Or a good faith debunker, if you will. I disagree partially, though I think Death Battle as a concept is rage bait adjacent. I could see that. None of this actually matters in a real world sense. Nobody's getting hurt, which is why it's so easy to misconstrue and audiences to not question it, because why would they do that? Yeah, see? As you can see, he knows not to take this take too far. He knew that. Jack Lopesti's a good boy. He's a good person. He's a cool dude. And yes, I did actually have a decently extensive conversation with him about this exact topic. Basically, we're on some kind of similar footing. We're on some kind of similar footing with each other. We just kind of view this a little differently. I don't exactly remember everything that we said, but yeah. Some of y'all take this indie web series way too fucking seriously. Jeez. You'd think the crew was actually horrible people with how the community treats every episode. Oh, hang on, hold up. Hold your horses, little gut. Of course you can do constructive criticism, but man, some of you act as if the crew hates you specifically. Honestly, yeah, there are people who do, even if it's not intentional. I missed With and Boomstick banter Twitter. I missed it a lot. Yeah, me too. At least it shows up in most of the previews. Hey. Zero Door, this is not entirely a people online moment. Come on. I mean, if I know about the people online, then there's at least some merit to it. Clearly. If Death Battle wants to be more anime-centric like it's doing nowadays, do more stuff like Monsters... yeah, we just talked about this. JRPGs and stuff. Oh, wait. No, he's including more than just like types of anime. He's also including like anime-adjacent stuff like JRPGs. Yeah. Zurku, yeah. Similar opinion, but more. Yeah, we love Sir Musty in this house. We read that. I wouldn't even care if Wily won. I still wish Eggman vs. Wily should have ended with at least one of the scientists surviving. Yeah. Actually, no, cold take. Eggmaster, you a tourist? Are you a tourist? Tourist? Are you a tourist? You have any cash? So you at the airport? 99% of what the fandom comes up with for Kirby series matchups is garbage. Like Meta Knight versus Riku, he speaks the truth, chat. Everyone I've seen is either mischaracterization, lack of debatability, active spite, or some combination of the two, or even all three. Not surprised this community hates Kirby just as much as Smash fans. Oof. Hang on. Since when do Death Battle fans hate Kirby? Since when? I mean, some of them hate Meta Knight, but Kirby? That is a bold accusation. That's a bold accusation, Connor B. Come on. Kirby vs. Rimuru only appeals to people who want to see Kirby lose. Or people who just like Rimuru. There's always like a different crowd for different things. Here comes JC Gonzo with a couple. You got a couple. It's super lame and cringe on not liking Death Battle episode due to the fact your favorite didn't win. Bao has a laser cannon. You a tourist? You a tourist, Bao? You have a laser cannon because you're a tourist, Bao? You're a tourist? Characters returning into Death Battle hate is hella forced. Hey, there is merit to it. With how many returners showed up last year, there's merit. There's merit. Come on. Come on. It's not forced. Is it exaggerated? Well, I'm sure we could talk about that. But is it forced? No, absolutely not. Oh look, it's Vagos again. Long time no see. This community is often very defensive. Also, hard Dragon Ball fans are salty, and hard Ben 10 fans are salty. It's gotten so old at this point, especially when 70% of the time it's done by non-FNBs, non-fans of those series. Grow up, people. And he's not even here to see it. Unless you're gonna comment. I will be reading your comment, Vagos. Or not, we'll see. Anyways. But yeah, absolute facts. Absolute facts for that one, for real. This cancer is half the reason comic discourse is impossible. Without some neckbeard loser bring up feats of strength or power levels. You can't look at numbers on a spreadsheet and determine who would win a comic fight. Power scaling and shitification is all on death battles. You heard it here first. Death battle is a cancer. Holy damn. Yeah, blue check mark, opinion disregarded. Suck it, blue check mark. Most of the dialogue / interactions in the fight are basically this. What is this video? Ian, oh.
I'm going to win this time, because I am the Eggman. I always have the master plan. Well, aren't you a mean bean machine?
Oh, please. There's no way you're gonna beat us. Not with Sonic 2 up in here.
I won't mind painting myself blue for you, Sonic.
You're rougher than the rest of them, Sonic. Live and learn, Sonic.
That's actionable. I love that part.
Go there. Yeah, now you see me, Sonic.
Don't cry. You must advance, Sonic.
Feel the rush, Sonic.
Dream of an absolution, Sonic.
Fly high, Sonic.
True that.
True that.
Colors feel so right. Consider this your final frontier. I'm gonna unleash my power, Super Sonic style.
Honestly.
Sonic Heroes.
Sonic Hero. Not fully inaccurate. Not entirely wrong. Okay, I'll give you that one. Although that is a banger video, so yeah. I do think that the Ian Flynn reference is exaggerated outside of Frontiers discussions, but for Death Battle, yeah, it's not wrong. Episode-wise, the hate for Groove vs. Megamind in this episode is forced as hell, and most reasons bashing it are f***ing stupid. General, stomps do not equal bad. This is such a stupid mindset. Not always. Unless they become a scale issue, or if it gets to a point where the losing character just cannot do anything. Like, feasibly has no advantages. Or win conditions. Fan-made matchup-wise, Bendy vs. Cuphead flat out has no reason to exist anymore. Why are we still gassing it up? Oh, you know what? Oh shit, this is EvaTuber. Oh, that guy. But I'll give him this. I'll give the James Corden acting like this. Bendy vs. Cuphead slander, I will be there no matter what. If they don't bring a new series with them, ban all return, all of them. Shit. Also, please give a long break to Dragon Ball, My Hero, Sonic, etc. Not Marvel and DC. Not Marvel and DC. Damn. I don't even know how to process this take at this point. Like, I don't even know if I can say base or cringe. Like, genuinely. Yeah, ban all returners, you say. All of them. All of them. Okay. All right. We'll move on. Move on. This is definitely not unpopular, but please, I beg of you, get rid of the category system for the love of God. Like, I understand the concept, but this risks actual in-depth conclusions, making it seem like it was rigged. Now episodes like Hulkzilla are an exception, but Group Mind is a prime example of the category system damaging the conclusion. Yeah, I don't know if the category system inherently damaged the conclusion. It's just that the way they went about the category system was really weird. Like, they gave 2 categories a tie despite very clearly saying Gru has a bigger advantage. Like, or I'll give him the first category. I agree with it on paper, but having the minions be a tie despite just outright saying the minions cannot fucking die, and that the Brainbot's numbers advantage does not mean much in the grand scheme of things, but Minion old chum, but the old chum of Minion, he exists, therefore tie. No, I don't see it. I don't see it. And I just say what I've always said about categories. I do think they're necessary in, like, really complicated matchups, or if you need to, like, really determine which factors were the more, or if you really need to specify which factors happen to be the most important. But otherwise, death battles should just not hesitate to just skip the categories for a conclusion. Kirby versus Rimuru is greater than Kirby versus Mario. Tomato, 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 tomato. Oh, ow, who? Tomato, tomato, tomato. At, tomato, 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 tomato. Op, plea, tomato, 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 tomato. Set. What the fuck is a Kirby versus Mario, and who's actually asking for it? Like, this is a people online Zero Door. This is actually a people online take. Come on. Kamen Rider should have been on the show sooner. It's genuinely perfect for death battle. Why are we yelling? I don't recognize any of these matchups. Gonna be real. I don't want to say Death Battle's necessarily behind, but I really feel like they need more of a presence online aside from the Death Battle videos themselves. Well, I mean, they do have, like, they do have, like, their Dungeons and Dragons channel, which I still think should have been called Deaths and Battles. But instead they called it Nightly Brew for some reason. There's, like, no branding to that. Oh, Odd Mega Man? Oh, okay. Anyways, next time Sneak Peeks cast announcements, they don't even consistently tweet when a new episode comes out. Oh, you're actually right about that. Yeah, that's actually true. Fuck, I didn't even notice that. You're right. Odd Mega Man is right. Damn. Holy shit. I did not even think about that. People read way too much into the animation than the post-analysis and analysis itself. The type of complaints you see around the show is proof. Well, hey, if they're gonna if they need to streamline their research, the fight's gotta line up with what they're trying to argue. Like, they can take creative liberties. No one's saying otherwise. But if they're gonna say something like just at a random example, Denji can break through domain expansion, only to have the fight having Denji losing to a domain because of a domain expansion? No. Don't do shit like that. At that point, you're not just looking too much into it. You're outright noticing you're just noticing a contradiction. Okay, we read that one. We read that one. I need ultimate of the show. Give it to me. What is with all these people who are yelling? Connections are overrated. This episode will get so many views. Point is overhyped because like every episode will get a lot of views because it is Death Battle. Honestly, yeah, connections are kind of overrated. Yeah. Like, I don't know where the community is leaning on connections at this point. Sometimes they say connections don't matter. Sometimes they say they matter the most. Sometimes it just goes back and forth like this. Like, yeah. And like, episode will get so many views. Talked about it before. Yeah, people need to stop hyperfixating on views, knowing that Death Battle already has several ways of like alternate income. Too many people only look at pure power when debating these death battles and don't take intelligence or emotions into consideration. That is true. And then get mad when the outcome isn't their pick. Okay, that last part is a little people online, Eve, but like, I do agree with the thesis of this take. So yeah, they do not really do a good job. Actually, realistically, have the characters react to their opponent's moveset correctly. How strong they are isn't also a factor. It's how the character reacts. I do think they are accurate a lot of the time with the results, but some characters would not react or respond the way they do in the animations more often than not. And no, this doesn't mean portrayal-wise. They can really nail a character and make them feel like them. I mean, like, they focus so much on showing the moveset, but don't really have a good time accurately showing how they would realistically react in the moment. Actually, I think I have seen this take before as well. Like, before I, like, muted the initial tweet. And, like, this is something where it's like, it's Death Battle, you gotta give them a little leeway, because technically, like, in theory, everyone is gonna be out of character the moment they approach Death Battle. So, like, you gotta, like, this is 100% a you thing. Like, just, like, an individual person thing, I want to say. Because, you have to go into a Death Battle knowing that the characterization is not going to be perfect. So at that point, you're not allowed. No one's saying that you should ignore flawed characterization, but you should give yourself a limit on how much you're willing to accept. And what specifics you're willing to accept. It's a case-by-case character. It's going to be different for everyone. But yeah, I mean, hell, technically Dimitri, like, I'd even say that technically Dimitri, like, showing empathy for Guts, just standing there, like, isn't fully in character, given the type of personality the Death Battle decided to give him, at least in that context. But I'm fine with that, because it at least taps into a reason why I love Dimitri as a character. Oh yeah, Goku vs Superman 3. Yeah, that's another one I would like to say. Like, both were out of character in that fight. No way around it. Like, neither one would be willing to take, like, a fun sparring match to a point of, like, planetary or cosmic level destruction. Even with the context of there being, like, Dragon Balls, they can just wish everything back. First of all, they don't even do that they don't do that, like, at the end of the fight, so oops. And second of all, yeah, it's just, yeah, Superman especially, like, would not go this far. Like, yeah, they had that little character moment where, like, he got sad, but it was not handled the best. It was not written the best. Plus, they do destroy the, yeah. Again, it's a case-by-case basis, heavily dependent on the individual and like how much they care or care about or like a character. Either way, that's gotta be something you need to decide on your own. Metal Sonic's analysis was so close to being perfect, but the beginning of it felt a bit rushed for me, and I wish they had mentioned some of his feats, like him being able to go toe-to-toe with Surge, or his Black Shield being able to block Zavic's Fireball, which was able to tilt Angel Island. I think that he meant to say, like, mention some of his IDW feats. I think, like, he meant to say that, but forgot to bring up IDW, and I'm like, okay, fair, yeah. I want Mario vs. Sonic 3, but at the same time I don't want to because they will somehow fuck it up and say Mario... Look, as someone who thinks Sonic does beat Mario... You a tourist? You a tourist? You a tourist? Tourist? Give me your cash? Give me your cash? I saw you at the airport, you're a tourist? Okay, come on, man. Shut up. Can a Mario character fight anyone that isn't from Sonic? Well, we've had Wario versus DDD, Yoshi versus Riptor, but like, Bowser versus Ganondorf, Peach versus Zelda, we've had, I mean, we've had a few. Akuma versus Shao Kahn is bottom 5 of the whole series. Ooh. Yeah, Piranha Plant versus Chomper all the way. Hell yeah. Actually, no, fuck it. Why stop at Piranha Plant versus Chomper? Just stop at the Piranha Plant species versus just all the plants from Plants vs. Zombies. Why stop at just Chomper? Piranha Plants have like dozens of different species and versions, so hey, go all out. Just fucking go all out. Plants Massacre, hell yeah. I know that there are also Plants vs. Balloons, but Piranha Plants versus, actually, fuck, not, it would be, SEO-wise, it would be very, very weird to see how, like, Plants vs. Plants would go in YouTube search. Like, now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, DK vs. Crash Bandicoot is popular. People are also doom posting DK vs. King Kong for some reason, but those people are dumb. Anyways, I miss the cutaways, even if they were kind of bad most of the time. Shadow vs. Ryuko is not too great looking back. That makes me very sad. Yeah, it's a toss-up episode, so fair. He got one more in him, chat. Super Monye 1. He's got one more in him. All right. Can you guys just collectively ignore the people who keep on trying to push definitions on power scaling and the people who hate it? It's annoying to scroll past discourse involving pseudo-intellectuals who genuinely have no idea what they're arguing about. Stop retweeting, don't feel the need to defend the hobby, but you're also not Superman. On Twitter, it is impossible to convince anyone at all, whether it be politics or basic human rights. So don't even bother with scaling. Let them continue to act high and mighty elsewhere. Okay. Possible to convince anyone on Twitter? Fair, but I would put an asterisk next to that. Because if it's one of their Twitter mutuals, they're more than likely to listen to them. Like, to hear them out on, like, an opinion they disagree with. But otherwise, yeah. It's why I admittedly, I try to do it less and less, and like, Gumball's a friend of the channel, but I do think he needs to lessen it. I will say. I don't know if he's still in chat at this point, but I do think that. Alright. Yeah. But every once in a while, it's just fun to, like, ratio a salty sea dog slandering Death Battle, only for Death Battle fans to go know you and ratio them. Sometimes, every once in a while, it's fun, and I'll join in on the action. Death Battle hates Ryu Hayabusa. Do they? And conveniently sucked Capcom's making them win 8. I don't think you're right about that. I'm fact-checking live on... I'm fact-checking you live once again. Let's look at all the Capcom series that Death Battle has ever used. Be it Street Fighter, Mega Man, Strider. Whatever other series they've used. Okay, so the Capcom characters they've had on the show. Akuma, who had 1 win and 1 loss. Mike Hagar. Well, again, this one also just kind of cancels out. Chun-Li, who lost? That's 3 losses. Blanca, 3 wins. Bison, 4 losses. Ryu, 5 losses, 4 wins. Dan Hibiki, 6 losses. Cammy White, 7 losses. Ken Masters, 8 losses. Balrog, 9 losses. Okay, what's the next Capcom franchise? Is it Mega Man? I think it's Mega Man. There it is. There it is. Mega Man. Dr. Wily, 10 losses. Mega Man. Okay, I do have to add a win there, but... And, like, I'll just stick with 11 losses for now, like 12. And then 0. Okay, that's another win. 6 wins. Sigma, 13 losses. And then what's the next Capcom franchise? Wait, I think I passed it. Yeah, I passed it. I definitely passed it. Strider. Okay, we were at, what, 7 losses? Oh yeah, and Devil May Cry is next. Devil May Cry should be next. Yeah, Devil May Cry. And then 8 wins. And like, how many losses were we at? 13? Yeah, like, and Dante also lost 1. 14 losses. And Virgil vs. Sephiroth, 15 losses. Alright, 8 to 15 so far. What's the next Capcom franchise, chat? Oh yeah, Dark Sucks. I forgot about that one. Felicia lost. That's 16 losses, though John Talbane won. That's 9 losses. So 9 to 16 so far. All right, what else? What am I missing? Anything else? All right, what's next? What's after Devil May Cry? Dead Rising. Oh, okay. Resident Evil. Okay, 10 wins. But that's also a loss, so 17 losses. 10 to 17. All right. That was a Capcom v. Capcom. Okay, all right, what's the next Capcom? There. Oh yeah, Oscar's Wrath. That's 19 losses. 19 losses for Capcom. So far. Is there anything else? What else is there? Yeah, why is there only 1 Resident Evil episode? That's actually dumb. Here's another one. You already brought up Oscar's Wrath. Buffy, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Despicable Me, Remind. Okay, that's all the Capcom franchises. So, 10 wins and 19 losses. Some of them being Capcom v. Capcom or even same series. Fair. But still, I don't think this is 80%. I do not think this is 80%, Mr. Cyrano de Mayo. Also, Ryu Hayabusa is a wall lever jobber with mediocre speed. Cry about it. Depending on the episode, I rewatch good conclusions more than good fight animations. Ooh. I think the analysis portion gets overlooked by the fight animation, but I think the conclusion is even more overlooked, as that's debatably the most important part of the episode. Depending on... Well, I mean... Most important? Huh. Oh, it's 34% win rate. Wow. That is a 34% win rate. Damn. For Capcom. Okay. Anyways. But yeah. Honestly, I think the thing that sticks out to me in a good way is like the conclusion gets more overlooked in the analysis. The main reason why I don't touch upon them much is because sometimes I just don't have a lot to say. Like, the conclusion's a conclusion. Sometimes I'm not super familiar with it, like, with like all the characters power scaling wise. But yeah, I agree. Conclusion does get overlooked by plenty of reviewers. Like, the only times they're consistently talked about is if it's like some sort of canon event or just an infamous conclusion, like Trace vs. Scout, Ben vs. Hal, Pretty sure Groove vs. Megamind is gonna be the next one. As somebody who really wants Miku on the show, my preferred is Barbie. It's based. She has a weirdly toxic discussion, no matter what side you're on. Haters make it their whole mission to tear you down. The people who want Miku are so up in arms for their preferred. Can't we all be pals? Yeah. I want to hear Gumball's take, like, Gumball's response to this, especially, for real. Because, like, he's a Miku boy. He's a Miku fan. Well, I mean, I'm a Vocaloid fan, too, technically, but not as big. I bet a large amount of the Hate Death Battle guests a lot of the time would disappear if they made alt endings for the... No, it wouldn't. I'm sorry. No, it just wouldn't. No. People can go on about how the math was wrong. They left stuff out, etc. But the truth is, people just want faves to win and couldn't care less about the reason. Yeah. But then if Death Battle started doing alternate events, people would just move the goalposts and call it damage control. So yeah, I feel like Dante vs. Bayonetta should have been the first ever tie. Ooh. Really? I'm assuming they mean like legitimate tie, a la Scooby vs. Courage. I don't know how to feel about that. Mainly, just because a matchup has good connections doesn't mean its episode is good. For example, Akuma vs. Shao Kahn. Oh, you picked that one. In the same way that a matchup having a bad connections doesn't mean it's a bad episode. For example, Reverse Flash vs. Black Goku. Don't you mean Goku Black, bro? Whatever. We need to have some more obscure stuff in Death Battle, or at least franchises that are less touched on. Give us US Ace vs. Space Cabbie. Give us the Turbo Megazord versus Menasor. Give us Tiamat versus King Ghidorah. Give us Rita Repulsa versus Queen Beryl. Yeah. I think the word you're looking for is niche, but yeah, I agree with this take. And like, in case Steve's in the chat, Ace Combat versus that other thing, I forgot. But hopefully I woke him up with that. There should be more than one cartoon match a year on Death Battle. How would the show like Adventure Time not show up once at this point? Okay, yeah. When it comes to returners, 4 episodes should be the limit. Yeah, fair. With how many characters in Death Battle history haven't gotten a chance to have for a single run back, it wouldn't sit right with me to see a combatant get a 5th episode. Yeah. True. I agree. 4 episodes is enough. It's okay if the character that canonically wouldn't kill a guy doesn't kill a guy. People will watch even if the characters don't literally kill each other. Nobody's gonna go, oh no, I will never watch it again because they didn't kill each other. As long as they go all out, it's okay. I like to see Death Battle actually doing more like a outlasting types of deaths, where technically the winner doesn't technically kill the other guy. It's just that the losing character just runs out of energy first. Jay Wigluds, if you want to give a hot take, super chat. Send a super chat. Week 6 is what ruined champion. I think we saw this take before from this person, so yeah. Season 2 is overrated as fuck. Snake vs. Sam and Tony vs. Lex ain't saving a scene that's 90% mid to straight up. Chat, do you know how many episodes this guy is slandering with that thing alone? Hercule vs. Dan. Kirby vs. Majin Buu. Fucking... What's another... Actually, okay, I actually do need to, like, look back at... I actually do need to, like, look back at the thing. How many episodes is this guy slandering? Like, mid to garbage. Oh, He-Man versus Lion. Yeah. Rio versus Struck. Yeah, he is slam. This person is slandering Terminator versus RoboCop. The Pokemon Battle Royale. Godzilla versus Gamma. Well, I mean, slander towards that one is like slightly less lame. Rio versus Scorpion, though. Deadpool versus Deathstroke. Chuck Norris versus Segata Sanjiro. Whew. DK versus Knuckles, like, I'm more okay with slander, because, like, I'm a special case with that. And Wolverine versus Raiden. All of those are mid to garbage, apparently. Wow. Actually, let's do an online calculation. So season 2 has 32 episodes. How many of them are bad? Times 0.9 equals 28.8. Rounds up, either rounds down to 28 or rounds up to 29. So, best case scenario for this opinion. Let's pick up 4 random good episodes. Like, even if he means, okay, let's pick 4 random good episodes. Like, pick I'll just go with my favorites. Like, say he's saying that, okay, Ryu vs. Strider, that's a good episode. Hercule vs. Dan, that's a good episode. Deadpool vs. Deathstroke, that's a good episode. He's reluctantly admitting that, and then throwing out Ryu vs. Scorpion on there. Even if he thinks even if he reluctantly has to admit, okay, those are good. Think of all the other good episodes this person is slandering. Wow. Also, no, Snake vs. Sam and Tony vs. Lex are not the only Season 2 episodes that get glazed on the regular. No. I'm fine with more anime matchups, but I do hope for more variety of the series used. Cold take. Love CSM and Denji, but him getting on the show shortly after Reze is crazy. Honestly, it's even crazier that Reze got on first. Also, please give FMA a run back. There's a lot of good matchups for the series, and the only one they did stunk. Yeah, 100%. I really miss that side of when they would sprinkle calcs for stats and goofy character moments. I didn't feel like screaming caps because my throat hurts. To scratch that classic versus itch. It sucks that those aren't as often as they get more casual friendly, which isn't bad. Yeah, I agree. Oh my gosh. Okay, Eric, here's your fucking quote retweet. I think the next Kratos Frostathan type match, aka lore skilling match, should be War vs. Tarnish, Darksiders vs. Elden Ring. Was that it? Like, genuinely, was that it? You were hyping up your quote retweet all stream, and that was it? Just saying they should do this matchup? Wow. How lame. Okay. I almost want to end it there, but I'm pretty sure we have more quote retweets to go through. Oh my gosh. I get kind of tired. Ugh. Ah. Ironic or not, he gets the pin of shame. My hot take is that they need to bring back the other characters like Dummy. It feels weird that they all just kind of vanished except for Among Us. Yeah. Dummy and Mecha Goose Howard getting more screen time would be epic. Yeah. The Pokemon vs. Yu-Gi-Oh! Death Battle makes no sense because both games are completely yeah, they say that in the episode. Pokemon are living creatures while dual monsters are just trading cards. It's chess versus checkers. I mean, they literally say that in the episode, and that they had to take a ton of creative liberties, so, like, not wrong, I guess? Oh my gosh, my throat is murdering my neck. 1, its strength comes from its detachment from the scaling community. It favors presentation, and it is correct to do so. Ooh, there's a reason it gets views and scaling videos don't. Ooh! Hello? Hello, base department? 2, they need to outsource script writing. It's clear when they don't have anyone who cares about a series. I think less outsource and more collab. But yeah, I can agree with that. Gru vs. Megamind doesn't get the credit it does for doing an amazing job at characterizing both characters. Yeah, I like how they were characterized in the fight. It was cool. Kratos vs. Asura looked... No, I'm not gonna entertain that. The show has its ups and downs, but it's still enjoyable overall. Some episodes are real nothing burgers, others pop off majorly. I don't know if this is an unpopular... It's not, but it's an honest take, and I'll allow it. People give the analysis too much... No, they don't. What? What's important about the death battles have always been, are, and will always be the animated fights. No. Stop saying that one part of a death battle is more important than the other. They're all important. We're not doing that. We don't do that here. Come on. No, we're not doing that here. This series would be a lot more enjoyable if you just imagine it as 2 action figures pitted against each other instead of factual evidence that one beats the other. I mean, come on, the science is fun. Come on. Actually, yeah. I can't believe Dr. Eggman's a tourist. Holy shit, chat. I can't believe Dr. Eggman himself is a tourist. This series will be a lot more enjoyable if you just imagine it as 2 action figures. Anyway, I just read this. Come on, the science is fun. Science is fun. Also, there are other versus animations on YouTube that are specifically like that. So, you can just go watch those. If you need that fix. The animation matters a lot. Real. I'm nostalgic for when the channel was still called Screw Attack and Death Battle was like a side piece. I understand and agree with Death Battle taking over, but I just missed 2010 gaming channels and had like top 7 vids and stuff. That shit should have been archived. Oh wait, it got archived. I just forget what channel did it, but I know it's all archived. Also, Screw Attack was still around today. Like, if this was still around today, that means Stuttering Craig would still be the producer, which... Zam. Oh, mierda. Most people judge the episodes based on the animation or the result. When the analysis, animation, and result should be judged altogether as a full package. That should go without saying. Yeah. I mean, I think in, like, casual conversations, like, people aren't gonna focus on it as a full package, which is fine. But if you're gonna put an elaborate opinion on the internet, yes, you should take all of this into consideration. I've been saying this. Thank you. Hate to say it, but I feel like Death Battle's gotten... Sure, there are some good episodes every once in a while, but overall it's just so hollow. Research as well has gotten a lot more wonky with questionable results, so it just makes it harder to agree with them. Damn. I remember this guy too. I've talked with him a couple times before. It's obviously sad to hear them say that, but at the same time, who am I to judge? There are actual elements of indie death battle that are worse than like previous eras, Classic and Rooster Teeth. The characters they use for the main banner art. Oh hey, it's actually about this. Always confused me. Like Superman and Goku makes sense. Sonic and Deadpool I understand too, but Yang, Vader, Miles, and Kakashi? Just feels like a random list of characters they chose without much care. Think of Miles as more Spider-Man and it'll make more sense. And Vader I think is just supposed to be Star Wars in general, but Yang and Kakashi, I got nothing. I won't fight you on that. I don't know how hot this take is. But this show just takes way too long to like do stuff. Popular matchups don't happen for years. Shonen and less so recently, comic matchups are abundant instead of anything else, and the team doesn't seem to take the time to like look into the matches people really want to see. So many times it'll seem like they get suggested a matchup, Sans vs. Judge comes to mind, and people are like, I don't really know off. Not really blaming or criticizing them that heavily for it. Okay, so you get a pass. I guess they like what they like, but it is frustrating. You know what? Yeah. Hey. This person knows how long the episodes take. They're just saying sometimes there are points where it takes them too long. Like they're saying that it can take Death Battle too long to make a matchup an episode. Like, holy shit, where's Luz versus Anne? Galactus versus Unicron took 8 years to happen. To a point where, like, even some of its biggest fans just stopped shilling for it at that point. Well, except for, like, Raptor, I think. And then, like, how has Meta Knight not been on Death Battle yet? And, like, there's another one I'm thinking of. Oh, Skeletor versus Zed. Yeah, they've been... That is Skeletor versus Zed is actually a matchup that the team has been actively shilling for years. Where is it? Where the fuck is it? So yeah, just reword this as saying that... Oh, no. They did word it the exact way they needed to. Okay, so they're fine. Yeah, that's what they mean. Not in the sense that, oh, these episodes take a long time. Yeah, Naruto vs. Luffy. Well, season 2, not season 1. But yeah, it was going to happen early on. It was planned. Death Battle is not a good source for power scaling and should not be the end-all be-all for debates. Depends on the day, but generally yes. 1. Oh, hey, I know this person. Death Battle has been correct in verdict with every single episode. Every single episode! After Raven versus Phoenix. Really? So, this guy just said Omni-Man beats Bardock? That's my GOAT right there. And 2, fans have gotten way too entitled with the quality of episodes and think they're a mini-shave frivolous. Ooh, that's a term that makes a lot of sense, actually. Leading to harassment. Though sometimes the team uses that to dismiss valid criticism. Yeah, they do. I agree. The research is below average most of the time and shouldn't be taken at face value. Let's be real, people don't care about the power scaling or stats, they just watch the fights. Well, I mean, if that was universal, then debunk videos wouldn't exist. Just saying. We need more ships based on matchups. Okay, at least this guy said Spider-Man and Deku. Finally, someone who got it right for once. Deku like Spider-Man, low-key goated when you think about it. I mean, if you said something like Killua versus Misaka, then I'd probably be closer to your side, honestly. We read this take already. The fact Vegeta crashing the moon to Earth, Wanda crushing a universe in her hand, and Genos being an aggressive meathead are, up until very recently, almost not brought up in mischaracterization discussion baffles me, when these should be some of the more obvious instances of that. Vegeta punching the moon, I feel like it is something he would do as a byproduct of a fight rather than intentionally. Wanda crushing a universe in her hand, fair enough. Genos being an aggressive meathead, I personally didn't get that vibe from him, but fair. I mean, Genos did have a couple characterization oddities, though. I will say that. Ooh, here's a big one. Master Chief vs. Doomslayer honestly feels biased with how Chief's analysis covers so little of his story past the augmentations. The fight was just the Doomslayer show where Chief does fuck all the entire time. Seriously, gun to your head, name a single moment where Chief does anything that actually bothers Slayer or isn't no-sold or immediately outdone. Okay. There's no gun to my head, but I can do it anyway. Oh, hey, Spanish subtitles, cool. Anyways, name a single moment. Wait. Wait. Oh, I wouldn't even think of this one, but this one also fits. Actually fits. Here's something. Oh, made him grunt! Made him grunt, so it wasn't no soul.
Portal detected.
Then, like, I'll let this play out. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, chat. Wait for it. Boom! That's what we do. Then, vehicle distraction into rocket launcher. I found 3 moments, Blue03. We're immediately outdone. I'm not saying the crew were biased, but it's one of the most unbalanced fights of the entire show. My most hated episode of the entire series. Ooh, damn. The show should have ended after the cancellation of Rooster Teeth because of how inaccurate and misinformed a good portion of the matches are. Oh, come on! Come on, bro! Come on, mate. You're literally doing the versus battles thing. Stop it. Gwen versus Eve is such a go girl, give us nothing ass. Y'all treat Bakugo versus Rez as a worse episode than actually real. The Captain Planet jokes in some episodes aren't as annoying as reviews would have you believe. Some of the episodes that did it are far apart too. Yeah, that's fair. I don't remember what I said about the Captain Planet jokes in my ranking, but I think the only one that actually bothered me was like the one from M. Bison's rundown. The other ones, I just didn't care about to bring up. Like, I just don't care about to bring up at this point. I don't remember if I did that for the other ones. Death Battle should have risks on episodes of franchises that don't get much content more often. Death Battle should take more risks by doing episodes featuring franchises that haven't had a lot of content lately. Okay, I think that's what they were trying to say. Despite certain episodes not passing millions in a day, they still get millions per an episode, which is still good for a channel like this. And with over a decade and a half's worth of content, who's to say they're not making extra revenue from those videos? And if they are, who's to say it's not enough? Yeah, they could take more risks. Found the tweet before. Trying not to laugh. This show has been so much better ever since they went... Oh, finally, independent glazing. Here we go. Also, Amy and Yumi versus Panty and Stocking needs to happen. It's the best for both, and it's so peak. Isn't Amy and Yumi, like... I'm fact-checking myself here. Is Amy and Yumi, like... One, like... Amy and Yumi... Yes. I figured. Aesthetically, they look interesting. Oh, comedian, this is your oomph? Yo, this is your oomph? Cool. Alright. Read that one already. Season 9 was kind of meh, not gonna lie. Honestly? Ami. Okay, sorry. Yeah, sorry, not Amy. Ami. Ami versus Yumi. I mean, Ami and Yumi versus Panty and Stocking. Okay, anyways. So yeah. Bit of lore. Like a few weeks ago, I did leave. Actually, there was a server I used to be in, but left a few weeks ago. Season 9 was one of the biggest talking points, one of the most contentious talking points from that server. But yeah. Okay. Tenma Tsukamoto versus Jenny Wakeman should happen as an actual matchup over Robot Boy versus Jenny Wakeman, because we need more Japan versus America and girl versus girl matchups since Goku versus Superman and Hulk versus Godzilla, for God's sake. What was the last girl versus girl matchup we had again? Let's see. Ruby versus Maka, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I forgot Ruby versus Maka. Yeah, whatever. I think I'm fine with this take. Yeah. They need to stop using anime for the time being. I get it, they're cool. I like it too, but too much of it can be tiring. It's the reason why some people miss Marvel versus DC so much. Yeah, I agree. I like Sussy Beans more than Game Over. La, I can't hear you. I can't hear you over because... I can't hear you. I can't hear you over peak music. I can't hear you, sorry. Oh, that's it. Chat, we're done. That's the last one.
Oh,
we did
yeah,
it.
baby.
We did it. That's all it takes. We did it. That's it. Ho! Alright. I like Sussy Beans because I started the meme. You can finally... Bro, I can finally rest. I've been talking my throat. I've been talking so much, my throat is trying to murder my entire neck. Fucking... X-Parasite style. Dang. Well... Thanks so much to everybody who tuned in. Thanks to everybody who donated. Thanks to everybody who supported the stream, even if they didn't donate. And get some sleep, y'all. We all gotta go. Yeah.